206 days until kickoff. 206 days till the next NFL football game. That puts my mind in a doozy. I love football season more than anything in my life. Just kidding. Outside of my newborn child, my girlfriend, and a lot of other things. But I love NFL football that I'm willing to put it in that triumvirate of people. I'm Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace, Wisconsin backer. I'm done with Packer backer. He loves everything Wisconsin. Say something, Kyle.
I sure do. I appreciate you putting respect on my name today.
Anytime I try and be nice and he acts all high and mighty.
Wait a minute. I'm high
You
and
don't
mighty.
deserve respect on your name.
I appreciate.
It came in a little hot.
Well, okay.
You
sorry.
deserve to put respect on my name.
I appreciate you.
You've been listening to Campanelli, the defensive running game specialist for the Green Bay Packers. A little too much raising your voice like that at me.
I'm all about intensity, baby. Everything I do, 110 miles per hour. Because if you or anybody else try to steal my kids, I'm going to go chase them.
That is in reference to the speech made by the Packers' new inside linebackers and run game coordinator, Mr. Campanelli. Brad Nortman, longtime NFL punter, loser of Super Bowl 50. How are you? Does this day mean something more or less to you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I experienced the loss of the Super Bowl 8 years ago, but it's one of those things where every day after the Super Bowl, you're saddened that another NFL season has come and gone. So I'm sitting here, reflecting on the season. I love the NFL so much. The Monday after the NFL is over, I'm always a little bit bummed. I'm not going to lie.
It sucks. There's no getting around it. 800-990-3776. 800-990-ESPN. Look, it sucks. And there's no way of getting around it. If you want to say, like, Kyle, you said it. I'm so excited for the offseason. Get out of my face with that. Like, the offseason, you're going to say that now, but in about 2 months, you'll be like, I can't wait to see what Halfley and Campanelli and then whoever Goody drafts, whoever sign. He's going to be like, I'm done with the offseason. I can already predict the way this brain goes back and forth.
The offseason's one big tease. It's a big tease that leads you up to September to finally play some football. But, I love NFL free agency. I love the draft. But it's just enough football to, wet your whistle, but not much so to satisfy you.
Wet my whistle, huh?
Yeah.
I honestly...
Quench your thirst?
As Packers fans, we have so much to be optimistic about, right? This is why this offseason seems very special, because we have a new direction that we are going.
Which is what?
Which is up. We're going up in the right direction. You're looking at, you have a starting quarterback and a franchise quarterback. You have young receivers around you. See, with the Green Bay Packers, you have a lot of young receivers that are, forming around for our Packers. And then on top of that, you have a new direction for defense. We have something that we don't know, right? Everybody loves the unknown. The brand new.
What?
Listen.
Who loves the unknown? That is crazy.
You like hope.
The hope in the sense of, remember the new kid at school, everybody wonder, who's this new kid? Who is this person joining us? Everybody is optimistic and very hopeful that Coach Halfley can come in here and set up a nice, aggressive defense, though maybe next year we're playing in the Super Bowl.
I wish my classmates, when I transferred high schools, had that same thought process.
Oh, they said, who is this boy who think he can play basketball?
Yeah, but I played basketball in my freshman to sophomore year of summer with the varsity team, so I got to know a lot of the juniors and seniors, and I was a sophomore. And as a sophomore, freshmen and sophomores had to eat in the lunchroom. Guess who ate by himself the first 2 days of high school?
Oh, no.
Benny boy.
That's
when
so
you transferred?
sad.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
Yeah, thank you, Brad, for having a heart.
But, it's one of those things, I do feel like new kids and, it's more met with skepticism than it is with.
He was probably an annoying new kid. He probably came in saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm Ben." He said, "Oh, he's even the basketball players that knew him said,
Guys, I was the most innocent kid, believe it or not.
What the heck happened?
It's a crazy truth.
Greg in West Dallas, you don't agree that it's sad?
Not at all. You know what I'm excited about? March Madness. Bring on the Badgers. If they can just get it together, play a little bit better defense, shoot the rock a little bit better. Then you have the Brewers, and then you just have the summer with everything else going on with sports, or you can get out and do sports. So it was good. The Super Bowl was great. Am I a huge fan of it? Not really, but, man, I'm ready for everything else. I've been a Badger fan for 30 years of my life.
You said Badgers, you said Brewers. What about the Packers offseason? You didn't mention the Bucks making a championship run. You missed some teams, man.
Man, you know what? you guys might kill me, but I support the Celtics too and the Bucks. So
You can't
do both, Greg. You cannot. Can you put on the poll? Are you allowed to support the Bucks and the Celtics? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Not right now.
No, those are direct rivalries right now.
And here's the thing. That's a rivalry back in the day. If you know your history back in the 80s, the Milwaukee Bucks couldn't get past the Boston Celtics.
Man, Bucks and a Celtics fan?
I don't understand that.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
You can't be. That's like being a fan of two NFC teams or two Big Ten teams. You can't be a fan of two Big Ten teams and think,
If we're being honest here, let me break this thing down real quick. All right. The Milwaukee Bucks, sure, I'm excited to see what happens, but I'm not exactly feeling most optimistic that they're going to win the NBA championship this year. The Wisconsin Badgers, I think, are still good. They've lost 4 straight, 2 of them which have been bad, but they're still going to make the tournament, but I don't see them winning the national championship. Marquette, that's fine. They're up to 4, I believe, in the AP poll. That's great. Congratulations. We get to a Sweet 16 before I can actually talk about you in a national championship. The Brewers,
shots fired.
The Brewers have the 4th best odds of 5 teams to win the NL Central.
Is it that low?
It is that low.
It was low last year too.
No, they were 2nd or 3rd win total. They're 4th. They are 4th. So my point being is when we look at the Bucks, the Brewers, the Badgers, and Marquette. Badger football, they're not going to win a national championship. When it comes to who actually, in my opinion, has a chance to win something, it is the Green Bay Packers. They proved that this year. Now, it's going to be really hard, but in terms of watching that Super Bowl game, the way I'm walking out of this is, holy cow. The Packers have an ascending quarterback with young assets at the wide receiver position, a good offensive line. I'll actually join Kyle's club. I'm excited about the change in defense.
Come on.
I'm not saying it's going to work, but they needed to change something because what I watched in the Super Bowl was 2 front fours. You had Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs, who I thought they may not have sacked Purdy a ton, but they made him uncomfortable. They made him make quick throws. They blitzed at right moments. And then I'm watching Bosa, Hargrave, all those monsters on the 49ers get at Patrick Mahomes. But guess what? Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. So what I'm looking for the Green Bay Packers to do, guys, is I want them to be dominant in one position group, whether it be the cornerbacks and the safeties, whether it be the linebacking position, or what I'd like to have most is a good front 4 in that 4-3. I want to be beastly somewhere because I'm bullish about the offense. I'm bullish that Matt LaFleur can do great things with an offense. We've seen it with Aaron Rodgers. We saw it in rookie year with Jordan Love. But in order to get to the Super Bowl, they need a better defense, a consistent defense, and some defense that is dominant at a position group. Because I feel like when I go back and think where they've been dominant, I'm like, here and there, right? We talk sometimes Kenny Clark, sometimes the edge rushers, sometimes the corners.
They have no game records on defense. Literally,
no, they don't.
Your best player is Jair Alexander, and that's when he actually shows up to play. And not talking about show up to play just on the field, when he actually is completely locked in. But when you look at a Rashawn Gary, we just signed him to big money because he is a very good player, but he is not wreaking havoc on teams. The biggest knock on Kenny Clark, yes, he's a great football player, but Kenny Clark ain't doing what a Nick Bosa did yesterday or a Chris Jones did yesterday, where you can take over a game and change the game. Because if he could do that, the Packers would have been playing at least in the NFC Championship game because he would have made a difference to slow them down on the drive. The Packers are missing a game-changing piece on defense.
Well, and this reason is the exact reason why I'm of the belief that the Packers went exactly as far as they should have. They didn't overachieve because, they really rounded into form and were playing great football at the end of the year. But they shouldn't have advanced any further because there's too many holes in this roster. And it became much clearer last night watching the Super Bowl. Because when I look at those teams, whether it be the 49ers or the Chiefs, particularly the Chiefs, I look and I see elite everywhere. Elite head coaches, elite quarterbacks, for sure at the Chiefs, elite defenses, playmakers, special teams. There are very, very, very few holes, very few weaknesses in the 2 teams that played last night. That's why I look at the Packers. I say, you know what? They're a playoff team. They're a playoff team that won one game in the playoffs. That's exactly as far as they should have. And as I look forward going into the future, it's not the offense I'm worried about. Because when you have a QB1, when you have a quarterback like Jordan Love, man, you have all the hope in the world. And we should have all the hope in the world. But I look at the other areas of the ball, the ones that showed up last night for the 49ers and the Chiefs. We're talking defense and special teams. Defense and special teams dominated the first roughly 3 quarters of that game. That's where the Packers need to focus. And those are big items to tackle. You can't just look around the corner and find a dominant D tackle and D end and, lockdown kicker. So the Packers have their work cut out for them on defense and special teams before they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. But on the offensive side, man, you got hope when you got your QB1. You will be in the mix year in and year out going forward.
Yeah, but I guess to counter to that, Brad, you're saying like defense and special teams. The defense had played pretty well for the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. The special teams were boo-boo, but, I guess you could say the San Francisco 49ers still had every chance offensively to, they had the most possessions and the most, they created more opportunities. So, the Packers could have been in that game and competed just as well as the 49ers.
You talking about yesterday?
We just talked about how there's no dudes on defense. They don't dominate a game. You need to be able to dominate a game on defense, and both of these defenses those are both top 5 defenses.
I was talking having bad special teams for the Niners. They still were in the game.
Yeah.
The Packers had bad special teams. They were still in the game. My point stands. I still want more oomph in a position group on defense, but I'm saying after watching that game, it's not like I was overly impressed with KC's offense or San Francisco's offense.
No.
Who's to say Jordan Love, who played well at the last part of the season, couldn't have played well in that game?
But these are the best offenses in the league. Kansas City and
offenses. Kansas City's offense?
Well, they have Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
that makes it already a top 10 offense no matter
but
what.
you can say that they had the best player in the NFL, and I'll take that as an answer.
And the 49ers are well spread in their talent.
Yeah, I disagree here with you, Ben, on the fact that you think
because you're not a Packer backer.
No, because here's the thing. And one thing I noticed yesterday is that the Packers were not a Super Bowl contender this year. They were not. When you watched those two football teams yesterday, Brad, you hit on it. They excelled. They were great defensively. They had a good enough offense. And those special teams was something that backfired and hurt the 49ers yesterday with the fluke bounce off the leg. And then a field goal, I think he missed a field goal extra point got blocked. Yes, those are things that happen, but he then went and hit a 53-yard field goal with less than 2 minutes left in the football game. I mean, the special teams still played a pretty big role, and that was the biggest issue that Packers had, is that the Niners had bad moments yesterday. The Packers had a bad season overall. That was the identity of our special teams, of being below average and bad, where that was not the identity for the 49ers for a season as a whole. The Green Bay Packer defense, yes, they stepped up in the playoffs for us at moments, but we knew at the end of the day when we needed the most in the biggest moments, they were not going to be able to. You were not going to be able to depend on them. That's exactly why after Anders Carlson missed that field goal, is it Anders or Anders, or who cares?
Anders. It's still who cares?
Okay, who cares? When who cares missed that field goal, every Packer fan was like, "Dang it, we're going to lose this football game because we don't believe in our defense to make a stop."
800-990-3776. Brad Nortman thinks the Packers went as far as they should have after watching last night's game. Do you agree or disagree with him? Let's get that up on Twitter at KBN ESPN. 800-990-3776. 800-990-ESPN. On YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. Do the Packers go as far as they should have this year? That's next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
And I said, it just came out. I said, are y'all going to talk the whole show like this? Good for you. For the next 25 minutes, all they said was they started ribbing me. Oh, you going to clap like that the whole time? You going to laugh like that the whole time?
No.
You going to lay back like that the whole time? Why don't y'all go sit over in the open seats?
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Are you ready to step into a new realm of fitness? Introducing 22 Fitness, Milwaukee's premier fitness boxing studio. Head to 22 Fitness Boxing on February 14th from 2 to 8 p.m. for an open house, and also see our very own Kyle Brust and Nortman broadcasting live. Experience the adrenaline-pumping atmosphere of 22 Fitness firsthand, and spice up your Valentine's Day with Couples Clash, a friendly head-to-head couples battle. Make it a date on February 14th at 22 Fitness Boxing on Howard Avenue in Milwaukee. Find out more at 22fitnessboxing.com.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace for Universal Windows Direct. Do not suffer through one more winter in a cold and drafty home. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Super Spacer technology helps keep the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window sill longer, and makes the window last up to 5 times longer than other window systems. Call 414-410-2000 to schedule your free in-home estimate today, and for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Plus, a free upgrade to triple pane glass. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I made recently was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. They're a local business that's been around for 2 decades, based right in Appleton and Waukesha. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and include a true lifetime warranty. Even firefighters all across the country trust Good Health Saunas for sweating smoke out of their skin after fighting fire. Learn more at goodhealthsaunas.com. That's goodhealthsaunas.com.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab game day eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
Cousin Subs is stepping up their game this Lenten season with a decadent delight featuring lobster. You heard that right, lobster. This new limited time only lobster salad sub features lobster mixed with Cousin's signature mayo over a bed of lettuce and topped with onions, tomato, and Old Bay seasoning on their famous Italian bread. Baked fresh daily. Order the new lobster salad sub at any Cousin's location, online or via their mobile app. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Bunzels.com.
Get ready for an unforgettable week at Eagle Sports Range, Wisconsin's largest indoor range and retail firearms selection. They're celebrating their grand opening on February 16th through the 18th. 3 days of action-packed festivities featuring representatives from brands like Smith & Wesson, FN, and Vortex. It's your chance to meet the experts and get up close with the latest innovations in the industry. Plus, brace yourself for thrilling raffles, unbeatable sales, and much, much more. It's not just an event, it's an experience. Be part of the excitement from February 16th through the 18th. Eagle Sports Range, where passion meets expertise. EagleSportsRange.com.
This winter, escape to a world of winter powder in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan at Snow River Mountain Resort. Nestled in the heart of Big Snow Country, Snow River offers endless adventures for all skill levels, from gentle slopes for beginners to powder-rich tree terrain for experts. Make lap after lap with minimal downtime, as Snow River is home to the UP's only high-speed chairlift, the Voyager Express 6-pack, whisking you to the top in less than 3 minutes. Plan your perfect winter getaway at snowriver.com. Snow River Mountain Resort, legendary powder, legendary UP.
This is Kyle Bruston-Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Doing a lot of flip-flopping here on the Twitter poll at KBN ESPN. After last night's Super Bowl, Brad Nortman thinks the Packers went as far as they should this past season. Do you agree or disagree? Right now, 56% say agree. And as I say that, 52% say agree. 48 say disagree. It's going to be 50-50, I think. Because I think the lasting impression of Packer fans of this season is still the missed opportunity that was the San Francisco 49ers, right? The last game that the Green Bay Packers played this season, they outplayed a Super Bowl opponent. And you can make the argument that the Niners outplayed the Chiefs, but the Chiefs ended up doing what they need to do to stay in the game, similar to how the Niners beat the Packers. So, again, the lasting impression in my mind is that the Packers competed with the team that could have won the Super Bowl. So, I tend to disagree, but I know you guys agree that this is as far as they should have gone.
I think, first of all, it is a compliment, right? To go to the divisional round of the playoffs, that is a high bar in the NFL. So it is impressive that in a rebuilding young year, the Packers did that. However, it's those same things that you can dominate a game for 56 minutes and lose it in the final four is the exact reason why this team maxed out in the divisional round. Because you need dialed in special teams. You need dialed in defense. You need dialed in situational football. And this team is too young and they don't have enough players spread out throughout the whole team to be able to do that, to be able to close out a game. It's the reason why Kansas City is just so darn impressive, is because that experience, that situational football, all these things that when you have more dudes, when you have more experienced coaches, and when you've got guys that know situational football and have good special teams, you're able to put the whole thing together to play 60 minutes of football. This Packer team just isn't there yet. They will be. They're just not there in 2023.
800-990-3776. 800-990-ESPN. That's the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. On Twitter at KBN ESPN is where you can vote. Brad thinks they went as far as they should. I disagree.
So how far should they have gone then, in your opinion?
I mean, again, they very well could have been the 49ers. You know what I mean? Like to me, I know there are some positions in which the defenses, right, for both had more dominant positions, but there was no hotter offensive team in the playoffs than the Green Bay Packers. And I truly mean that. I mean, even looking at how the Chiefs struggled against the Niners, and there was more opportunities for the Packers against the Niners. Kyle, what say you?
Yeah, here's the thing. I agree that the Packers went as far as they could, but I will even go this far. The Packers overachieved this season. The fact that the Packers made it to the playoffs is already a miracle for me based off the way the season went. But then when you add on the Packers beating the snot out of the Dallas Cowboys.
And that's good enough for you this year?
No, that is, for me, overall, big picture. Like, obviously, when we lost to the 49ers, my disappointment was at an all-time high because we had an opportunity right in front of us. And in the NFL, as Brad has talked about, he went to the Super Bowl in 2015, and I'm sure he thought this wouldn't be his last time going to the Super Bowl. He'll have potentially more opportunities. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, thought he may have an opportunity. These opportunities do not come by. As a Packers fan, I know, looking at Aaron Rodgers only appearing in one total Super Bowl. So you need to take advantage and maximize when you have the opportunity in front of you to win football games, to put you in advance to a level where you could go to an NFC championship and give you an opportunity to maybe advance to a Super Bowl. You have to take advantage of it. But at the end of the day, when I look at this season as a whole, you got the youngest team in the NFL. You have a 2-5 start also with this football team. You have your franchise left tackle who can't get healthy, does not play basically the entire season. You're starting running back in Aaron Jones, the most veteran person on that offense, being out for he missed about 5 games this season. And then on top of that, your top receiver coming back, Christian Watson, could not get his hamstring straight throughout the entire season. And you have an inconsistent defense and a bad special teams. All that is a formula for a bad football team. But the Packers found a way to win despite having to overcome all those different obstacles. And so for me, the Packers actually overachieved, which makes me excited about what next year is going to be. But this is definitely an overachievement.
Of course they overachieved. Nobody's saying they didn't overachieve, but you can look at how they were playing in the playoffs and say to yourself, like, hey, if we beat the Niners, which was in their grasp, they also beat the Lions last time they played.
They didn't beat the Niners because they weren't ready to beat the Niners. The Packers were not ready. They are not there. They didn't have the experience. Your starting quarterback, when he had an opportunity to drive you down
you sound like the guy again who didn't believe that they could actually beat the Niners. Instead, like now you're going back to the guy who was not ready.
I think there was too many flaws, right? There were too many flaws in the roster, in the coaching staff.
I'm not saying there wasn't over the entire year, but we're acting as if they didn't stomp the Cowboys and outplay the Niners. There were a couple mistakes away from being the Niners. They were a bad 4th-and-1 spot from potentially being up 10-0 and it being a completely different ball game and playing the Detroit Lions. You guys are playing it was a good season. I'm going to accept it was a good season and really not give enough credit to how well they were playing outside a couple of mistakes.
It is incredible to see how far they went, but the same things that we knew were flaws all year are the things that ended up causing them the game. Defense when they needed to get a stop against Purdy and missing field goals. So inherently baked into the cake, there were these flaws that you knew at some point were going to get you. And they just got you at a really, really bad moment against the 49ers.
Carlito and Madison, 800-990-3776. Do the Packers go as far as they should?
Guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
Good, Carlito. I like that name.
I really miss you guys. It's Carlito the Bear Badger. I'm from Chicago. I live here in Madison. I love the Badgers. I hate the Pack. I can't stand them.
But
there is a little bit of bile. I don't know what you say, like vomit coming up into my mouth. I'm going to tell you again, like I told you at the beginning of the season. God, I hate this. You got another one. Looks like you got another one. Damn it.
All right.
You had something with Favre. You had something with Favre.
It takes a big man to admit that, Carlito.
Carlito's way. I like his way of going about things.
Carlito's way.
Hey, look. I know that I'm always busting your guys' business, about, I hate the Pack and I love the Badgers and I love the Steelers and I love the Bears. And I'm always telling you guys, mean stuff like 3 Hall of Fame Packer quarterbacks don't equal 1 Terry Bradshaw. But to be honest with you guys, it looks like this division is the best division in the NFL. We got Detroit, you got Captain Kirk, you got Love killing it, and it looks like maybe we got something in Fields. I mean, maybe
the best part you said there, Carlito, is maybe, because you don't know, and I love that. Thank you for the call. Maybe next year. Maybe. Trying to find a way to put the Bears in the same conversation as the Detroit Lions, who have the 3rd best odds to win the Super Bowl next year, and the Packers with the 5th best odds, tied with the Bengals.
I got to say, a fairly rational Bears fan didn't think that existed, but that guy had a level head on his shoulders. He could speak with truth, even though he get bodily responses.
It took
a lot, but that was a not delusional. I was a rational Bears fan. At least we know one exists.
Yeah, there's a couple out there, and he's just living in the reality, and the same reality I'm living in as well. Is that my Packers, they overachieved and they did all they could do this year. It does not take away from what the future holds for these Packers, and boy, oh boy, it is going to be a fun 10 years. What did Mr. Arm and Dangerous? What's the guy? Jordan Love's quarterback
Come on,
coach,
man. Stevie Calhoun.
Friend of the show.
Stevie Calhoun, our friend of the show. What did he say?
He coached Jordan Love for 12 years and still is coaching him.
And he's still coaching him. He said this is going to be a great next 10 years for the Green Bay Packers, and I absolutely take that to heart, and I believe that. So this year we did all we could. We overachieved. But, fellas, 2024 is our year.
Well, Ryan, another Bears fan. Enough of you Bears fans chiming in. Ryan from the 303, keyword for 2024. Regression for the Green Bay Packers. That's just hate coming in. That's just nerves. That's just unknown. That's the unknown that you don't like. The unknown that you don't know what your team's forecast is. Look, there is a possibility for regression. There always is, especially coming off a big of a year that the Green Bay Packers had. 7.5 win total. They made the playoffs, first 7 seed to win a playoff game. Everyone's telling you you're good. And when everyone's telling you you're good, it's really easy to get caught up with those egos.
They really shouldn't regress. It's the rookie year, or your first year as a starter like Love, but it's your rookie year where you really get that knockout punch to the face of like, oh, wow, the NFL is fast and it's physical and the playbook is massive and it's a long season. If you can get through that with success, there's really no reason you should take a regressive backward step.
And the reason why I don't think this team takes a backward step and they don't regress is because they're going to be more hungry, because they watched that Super Bowl game yesterday and they said, you know what? We beat the Chiefs and we outplayed the 49ers. So in their heads as competitors, they believe that they were good enough to be in that game yesterday. But then when you look at the overall season, everybody, almost all the young players on this team, from Jordan Love to Jaden Reed to Dontavian Wicks to Zach Tom to everybody, literally all the young players took a step forward in the right direction. And I know they're going to be eager and they're going to be hungry to continue to take that next step because Super Bowl is on their mind.
Here's the one thing, though. They will no longer be the team that can sneak up on anybody else. And look, you address every week with intensity, with preparation. But let's be honest, it's just human nature. If you're playing the Chiefs one week, you're a little bit more dialed in than if you're going to play fill in the blank, like Arizona Cardinals, whoever was bad this year, right? The teams approach the Packers this way without fear most of the time because no more Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going to have a healthy amount of respect for the Packers next year. That's going to be a challenge for this team.
800-990-3776. Tony in the 262. Very rarely hear this. Ben, you're right. Despite the flaws of the Packers, with the way the Chiefs played last night, the Packers would have a real shot at winning last night's game. The Packers are close, and so is the poll. The poll is close. Brad thinks that the Packers went as far as they should this past season. We have now flipped. 50.5% disagree. Ooh. Agree 49.5%. So I know you guys just want to protect a little bit of, hey, it was a great season. We overachieved. It was there. And I still believe that the way they played against the Niners showed me that they very well could have done well against the Lions. Both teams ascending at the right time. Not saying they should have won, but even that is saying, like, the way the question is phrased, should have went as far as it should have. I mean, I still think they were very good enough to win to go to the NFC Championship game based off how they played against the Niners. 800-990-3776. Do you believe the Packers went as far as they should, like Brad does? I still have a hard time convincing myself with how well they were playing at the right time. Couple special teams blunders cost them, obviously, but that's not always the whole story. Don't just blame Anders Carlson.
Don't say
I
that
can
to
actually
me.
say his name right.
Don't you dare say that. Don't you dare say that, because if he not missed that field goal, the Packers would have been in the NFC Championship.
And then you'd be saying exactly what I'm saying right now. 800-990-3776. Kyle Brust and Norton will be back.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman.
No, some of those things I say act like I think I'm something that I'm not.
I mean, you could say listen, I'm finna do this show here from 5 to 6.
I'm finna do the show.
The Homer Hour finna be lit from 5 to 6.
No, I'll never say that again.
It rolls though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It's not me.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Are you sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? Then you need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, this is Brad Nortman. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgeries are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, whether it's from arthritis or an injury, don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics Advanced, state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Call 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. And by everything, we mean top products by your favorite brands. From Blackstone to Blue Buffalo, Carhartt to Cooper, Milwaukee to Muddy, Scott's to Science Diet, DeWalt, Levi's, Purina, Husqvarna, Goodyear, Rapala, Vortex, whew, and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
I had a really strange experience today.
Strange how?
A man walked into the store who was only about 2.5 feet tall.
What?
And he was carrying a bow and arrows.
Did he sort of have a baby face?
Yes. How did you know?
Sarah, that was Cupid.
Oh.
Did he give us a thumbs up?
Yes, 3 times.
So tell us, what are the Cupid-approved gifts for Valentine's 2024?
He loved our diamond stud earrings starting at $198.
We have 186 different styles and sizes.
And we have more than 1,400 pair in stock.
And Cupid loved our $98 diamond pendant.
It looks like it's worth a lot more.
And every purchase of $298 or more includes a fabulous free travel case to safely transport all of your jewelry.
But mostly, he loved the 4-carat total weight wow diamond engagement ring for less than $4,000.
Welcome to Kessler's for Valentine's Day.
Cupid approved.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
Hey, Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, schedule your free in-home estimate and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. A better bath awaits.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm sad for many reasons. Football's over. I'm not feeling optimistic about the Milwaukee Bucks championship run.
Pat Bev, baby, what you mean? You saw the intensity. You saw him come in and hit them threes. You saw him drawing up plays.
You're so annoying. You're the Pat Bev of radio.
The crowd went wild.
I kind of like seeing it.
He went.
The Hornets are 10-41.
You was juiced up, weren't you?
I was.
You was juiced
like,
up.
Let's do this, baby.
Yeah, I told you, Pat Bev, getting that defensive stance.
You can see Kyle getting a horrible defensive stance on YouTube. Yeah, I was worried about him on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. We're Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Brad thinks the Packers went as far as they should. It's 50-50 on the poll at KBN ESPN. You can chime in 800-990-3776. But now, Kyle's got a cape on. I'm going to take him to school in the KBN Academy.
In radio, our goal's pretty simple.
Just so you know, you really suck.
Have an A show or an F show.
Hey, I'll decide who sucks around here.
The same goes for topics in this next segment. This is the KBN Academy.
Those that can't do, teach.
It is the KBN Academy where I, Ben Bruss, with a bachelor's degree, feels like a master's degree with my brain capacity. Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace, they both have master's degrees for real. Congratulations. We're your professors. We're going to answer some questions and give some A's and F's. There's no B's, C's, or D's or anywhere in between. Chris Larson's running it. Take it away.
Let's start off with the KBN Academy Super Bowl edition. The 49ers players admitted to not knowing the overtime rules after the Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs last night. They thought the first touchdown actually wins the game, and that wasn't the case. A or F, you knew the rules of overtime last night.
Big time F. Big time F. And to be honest, like, even when I looked at the rules on Twitter and they showed the rules on the screen, I felt as if I was still learning the rules while watching the game. But regardless of me or anyone else learning the rules, it is ridiculous to be in that game and to not have every scenario in your playbook, in your team meetings played out. It is your job in the practice. You have 2 weeks of leading up to the Super Bowl. What do you do? Brad, I know I did in basketball. In football, you have to work on situations.
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time. I mean, this was an F for me knowing it. I did not know it at all, but there is no excuse for the 49ers not knowing exactly what the rules are, what the plan would be going into it. And they even said that in their press conference after the game, that they didn't know the rules. Even when the referee said, okay, this is what it's going to be like, heads or tails. Each team's going to get the ball no matter if someone scores a touchdown. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. When did they change this?
Oh, wow.
But it also came out that the Chiefs did have a meeting about this exact thing earlier in the week. So situational football, man, it means a lot. That's a veteran coach and Andy Reid with a veteran team knowing what they need to do.
It was an A for me. You know why?
Because you knew the rules?
Because I listened to the broadcast and I read the screen, so I knew the rules by the time it was time to know. So I wasn't confused by anything. I said, oh, this is unique. This is creative. I can't wait.
Don't act like you had all the strategy figured out. Just
I knew when I heard Fred Warner say we want the ball. I said, wait. I literally in my
I did a double take on that one too.
I said, oh, I wonder if they didn't go through the fact that they wanted to not get the ball. I was very
Is Jair Alexander in the coin toss?
I honestly thought that he made a mistake. And in the start of the game, it sounds like the referee already knew what the Chiefs would do if they won the toss. And I was very confused when he said we want the ball. I said, this doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, regardless of what the overtime rules are. I know the first one is the first one to score a touchdown, woo. But, I mean, they need to be paying better attention. But I read the screen, so maybe the 49ers should have somebody watching and kind of buzz down to them.
Or know the damn rules before you get to the Super Bowl overtime.
It's not a fireball offense. but he's going to have to wear that one. Kyle Shanahan has fumbled and choked in every opportunity.
He called a horrible game, in my opinion.
And it's not like Shanahan could have been like, I never would have thought a Super Bowl could go into this overtime. His Super Bowl with the Falcons went into overtime, so he lived it out.
All right, moving on here. After the Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco lost a fumble in last night's Super Bowl, Travis Kelce bumped head coach Andy Reid and screamed in his face on the sideline before being led away by a teammate. Reid said afterward he appreciated the veteran tight end's passion, while Kelce said his emotions got the better of him. ARF, it's a bad look for Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
I mean, like someone argue F. Someone argument that this is a good look. Like it just like
time out. Wait a minute. I don't want to pull the veil. About a half hour ago, somebody was definitely arguing that this wasn't a bad look. I mean, somebody in here.
Who? What did I say?
Somebody in here was arguing before. Oh, you're not a competitor. Yes, you didn't play high level sports, so you don't understand what competition is and what being.
Did you know there's a difference between me trolling you in a pre-show meeting and actually having my real opinion?
I believe him. Did you not believe him, Brian?
Yeah, you're pretty gullible. Yeah, that's because you guys are both gullible.
I think everybody believed you because we can see you doing something that crazy.
It's a bad look to about 95% of people, right? Like the casual fan, the Taylor Swift fan who's just tuning in to see Travis Kelce. That's a bad look, about 95%. There's about 5% of people that were like, go get him, TK. Do whatever you want to do.
Crazy.
Love that passion.
Crazy.
So, meatheads.
Yeah, yes. Meathead. I'm not in that meathead department.
To me, it's a bad look.
Not at all. It was a very bad look. I mean, I understand it. And
I wish he would have fell.
But he dang near did. Andy Reid, like 68 years old.
I mean, big guy tumbling, kind of funny.
No, it's not. It's
as long
not
as he doesn't
funny.
get hurt.
He is elderly. He is an old man. You just running up on an old man like that? Come on now.
Elderly abuse. That's why I said.
That does qualify.
Explain to me why it would be an F here. Why it would be a good look.
It's a terrible look. I don't know. You told me it was a good look earlier, so you threw me off here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't see an issue with it whatsoever.
I mean, that's the reason. There's a reason why Kyle went D3. He never had emotions where he actually wanted to get up in a coach. They just did whatever they wanted to him.
You tell that story. That makes me feel better about myself. It was my emotions and not my lack of athletic ability.
It was all the above. Chris?
We wrap up KBN Academy here with today being Super Sick Monday. According to a study from UKG Workforce Institute, an estimated 16.1 million U.S. employees plan to skip work today. 6 million of these workers will risk a workplace penalty for faking sick or ghosting work altogether following the Super Bowl. ARF, you know someone who's doing that today.
I don't know the full story specifically, but I do know that Josh DiMaggio, producer of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, had to fill in for Jesse Nelson from 9 to noon. I don't know what's going on in Jesse Nelson's life. All I know is that he hosted a Super Bowl party. And when I heard Jesse Nelson hosting a Super Bowl party and Joshy got the late, I need you to cover, almost put him in the spot where he couldn't say no, I knew we had an A here at ESPN Wisconsin.
I wonder if he's in that roughly 40% that is risking a workplace ramification from that.
I'm starting to get the hall monitor the way he goes about things. I got an email yesterday from Jesse that was highlighting a lot of his teammates. You know what it was? He was just trying to soften everybody up to say, I'm working on the weekend. I'm throwing support to my people. And bow, I ain't coming to work tomorrow. That's what it was. It was trying to soften the blow of him having a Super 6 Monday. That's all it was. He was setting people up. Shout out to Jesse Nelson being so strategic. I need to take some notes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he knew what he was doing going into it. He knew I'm gonna live it up. Super Bowl Sunday.
Hey guys,
Monday.
I had before my Super Bowl party. I'm gonna send this email to praise everybody. Man, everybody feel real good. So when I don't show up on Monday, they know I was really sick.
You guys,
that's an F for me. I don't know anyone.
It just became an A
until this moment. So yeah, I think it switched really quickly.
Wait, which one was it? A or F? I know somebody. I guess
A is if you know somebody.
I guess I know somebody in Jesse Nelson. A. I don't know anybody else because everybody else I know is a hard worker. Not saying he's not. Just saying he ain't there today.
That's it for the KBN Academy. Kyle Brust and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin, and we have great partners. And there is none other than the one, the only, The Gina Della from Pella.
That's right, Gina Della from Pella and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They're always looking out for you. They're always trying to make sure that you have the highest quality windows and doors. And that's why they are offering this incredible deal right now. That is 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's right, 0% interest up to 60 months. Imagine having beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Pella windows and doors installed. It totally changed the vibes of the room. I mean, my parents did it not long ago. The room completely changed when you add in new Pella windows and doors. Not only are they beautiful, they're durable. They're going to keep your energy bill down. And imagine having not to have to make a payment for 5 years. That's unbelievable. This deal is not available anywhere else. And hurry, though, the 0% interest for up to 5 years only lasts until February 23rd. So it's already counting down. That's why you can't hesitate to call and check out Pella's expert team that installs year-round and figuring out how to do your order today at PellaWI.com.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. You hear from KBN Nation. Do they go as far as they should, those Green Bay Packers? Brad says yes. I disagree.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman.
Listen, Diana, that's her name. Listen, we all about positive manifestation. I like you, Diana. All it is negative. Diana. Criticize.
Dirty Diana.
I love you, Kyle.
Love you too, girl.
I love you, Kyle.
I love you too. That's what I'm talking about. The real Packer Nation.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some... Why are you throwing... I don't want...
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
Named by me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Opening day, and all 2024 Brewers games go on sale Thursday, February 15th. That's tickets to any game you want, any way you want, all season. Featuring new giveaways, new theme and community nights, can't miss ticket deals, and all the season's best Brewers action. Make sure you're here for every moment. Check out the complete schedule now and grab your Brewers ticket starting on Thursday, February 15th.
Do you love winning? This February, head to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and fall head over heels with the Love It or Leave It $400,000 game show. Thursday nights, you could play the Love It or Leave It game show where you can love your prize or leave it for another. Play with your club card to earn drawing entries. Top prize is $10,000 in cash. It's time for Love It or Leave It. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at PaceBig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at LowTUSA.com.
Make this Valentine's Day special for your love. Shop local and trust Welke's Milwaukee florists as the experts. Start Valentine's week early and bring some romance into your life by ordering her a professionally designed Welke's arrangement. Hand-delivered to your home or office, Welke's has 100% freshness guaranteed. They offer same-day delivery and have locations in Elm Grove and in Milwaukee at 56th and North. Order now and enter code ESPN to get 10% off your order. Go to Welke's.com and do it now.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
That's Beverly's first game as a Milwaukee Buck turned into the exact medicine the doctor ordered as Malik Beasley goes off from beyond the arc.
Now sends to the corner. Beverly sends to Beasley. Got to get it off. He does. And he splashes it through. A three-pointer from Malik Beasley, who has got 5 of them now in this opening half, and that is quite a way to round things out on what was a dominating half of basketball for the Bucks.
They'd go on to win 120-84. Beasley hit 7 threes in the game. The Bucks go for back-to-back wins tonight as they take on the Denver Nuggets at Fiserv Forum.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Started the wave, now everybody looking the same. Tell me how you want it. Shorty bust it down. Give us the money, keep the crown. Tell me how you want it.
Kyle Bruston Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. You can get us on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee, or text us, call us 800-990-3776. Right now on Twitter at KBN ESPN. After last night's Super Bowl, Brad Nortman thinks the Packers went as far as they should this past season. Do you agree or disagree? I still go hard disagree because based off this question, I still believe that they should have beat the Niners despite the special teams hiccups. Bad spot on 4th and 1 will live in my head forever. Bad spot in the first quarter that they could have went up 10-0 and changed the landscape of that entire game. And I still am not one of those who's like, put a chip in the ball, this, that, and the other thing. Like, I don't know the perfect science to it all. It just didn't go their way, and that's the way the football, that's the way the cookie crumbles and all that crap. But, like, man, way to stumble through that one, Benny. Tim and Tosa, save me, 800-990-3776. What up, Tim?
Gentlemen, great show as always. Love listening to you guys' perspectives. So I wanted to pick the brain trust that you guys there. So looking back, just curiosity. Looking back last year, Quay Walker gets ejected for putting his hands on, I think, a personal trainer of another
coach
team.
And a trainer. There was like two incidents.
They grabbed and there's been a couple different things from players that, they'll just get a little scraps. The guy will reach across, punch a guy in the nose, and he's ejected, right? Now, what I saw is, and granted, I wanted the 49ers to win, so maybe I'm being a little bit of a baby here, but when Kelsey runs into his own guy, like, forcefully and, it wasn't just a soft bump. I mean, he knocked Andy Reid, which takes a lot of power to move him. So what's the rules there? Like,
there are none.
The same team?
Yeah, there's no rules against assaulting your own teammate.
Yeah, I mean, it's on Andy Reid and the Chiefs to discipline. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, though. But if, let's just say there's a legitimate fight between two teammates. Like, I'm talking like haymakers are thrown legitimate on the side. They hate each other, whatever reason. They get off scot-free? There's no penalty? Mm-hmm. It's just, you're on the same team, so the officials aren't going to step in. I mean, I know that the answer, but it seems like, if you want to enforce a rule because it's another team, because you want to give the other team an advantage, but on your own guy, you're like, if there's some serious altercation, you go, our bad. You guys just keep playing, get along.
You just suspect. That's internal, right? You police yourself.
Thank you, Tim.
That's what it comes down. Tim is hurt. Listen,
I don't know if Tim went to Paddle Sportsbook and had a chunk of change on the Niners. He's looking for any reason, and I mean any reason, that Travis Kelce should have been sat down after
he said that's a 15-yard penalty
on his own team.
That is a 15-yard penalty. Eject him from the game. Did you all see what he just did to that elderly gentleman?
I mean, it was a little bit of a bump too. I mean, I'm surprised that Andy Reid didn't topple down there. But with your own team.
Yeah, I guess, Brad, have you seen an internal fight during a game? I've seen fights in practice.
Yeah, fights in practice for sure. And both those guys are getting ejected from practice if it happens. But in a game,
did Steve Smith and Josh Norman fight while you were there or no?
Yeah, they did. In practice.
Yeah.
So it very rarely happens to the point of physicality on your own sideline. Like, dudes get in each other's faces for sure. But that's never anything that's
a
enforceable.
rookie was opening his mouth to Patrick Mahomes yesterday.
Never wise.
I think Tim is grasping at straws there, and for all the things that happened in yesterday's Super Bowl, that's the least from my mind of two teammates. What's going to happen to the two teammates?
Look, I know a man in desperation who needed an outcome specifically for a team. And anything that the other team does is like, oh, it's the worst. That was a foul. That was a hold. I get it, Tim. I get it. I lost with the 49ers, too. 800-990.
You put money on the 49ers yesterday?
I did, yes.
I did not tell you. I tried to tell you to put money.
But acting as if like
racist for saying Pat Mahomes, but damn it, I was right. I wasn't racist. I was right.
That's a strong accusation there.
Go to ESPN Milwaukee and our Instagram page, and you called me racist.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
You sure did. I was trying to help you out. The baby needs to eat. The baby need Pampers. You taking money out the baby pockets.
I know.
I tried to help you.
I did say I was watching our parlays pretty hard, particularly my leg of it, and
you lost bad too.
He fell about 6 yards short.
For Ben's same game parlay, it couldn't have gone any worse as a debut.
Wait, who do we bet on again?
All of them were under. Pacheco, you wanted Rice, and I wanted Kittle.
What did Rice have?
Rice had like 20 yards.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Kittle had 4 yards. Pacheco wasn't even the leading rusher for the Chiefs. Mahomes was.
Kittle was so terrible.
And my initial one was, for sure, under on 7.5 punts. They went way over.
It was a punt fest.
It's a bad start.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad it's your money, not mine.
Follow at your own risk, but we're going to hit the next one. I'm going to be saying that every time.
Yeah. Optimism. Hope. Let's check the Green Bay Packers.
800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. Quickly, Kyle, you, I heard, are the worst party goer in the history of Super Bowl party goers.
Yeah, man. You know, I think I'm decent because I mind my own business. That's what it's all about. I went to a Super Bowl party yesterday. I came in late. The game started at 5:30. I got there at 6 because that's what time I'm comfortable with getting.
I don't care about when you got there. You didn't put your hand in chips.
I didn't put my hand. No, I didn't put my hand in chips. I poured the chips out like a sensible person. I only ate one, and that was the one that my girl bought. The other chip, I wasn't touching it. I wasn't eating it.
So you only ate the chips that your girlfriend brought
because those were the safest ones that I.
Did you eat any of the dips that others brought?
The dip had a fork in it, though. So
you're acting as if nobody did a random dip.
No,
you have a very deep mistrust for people, don't you?
Are you kidding me? People do not wash their hands. We're working with somebody who does not wash his hands.
That's not true.
He started washing his hand all of 14 days ago.
That's true.
Because he just had a child. So
wait
imagine being... Yeah, wait a minute.
That is pretty gross.
He zips, shakes, and walks out. He wipes and walks out. He doesn't wash his hands.
No, number two,
he contaminates all the food. I would have been... If Ben was at a party 3 weeks ago with me, I would have been contaminated with Ben germs on the chips that I would have ate.
Ben germs.
I actually do follow that logic right there. Then that's
you guys,
risky. That should be
it
a
is
thing.
Entirely too risky.
Men should really wash their hands after going number one. That should
forget the washing the hand thing. You wouldn't grab a chip out of somebody else's bag that somebody else grabbed chips out of.
No.
No.
What are we doing?
Y'all saw. You got to pour it. I told you last week.
Chris,
when
would you grab a chip?
I would not grab a chip.
Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
My God. It's germs are real. People are disgusting, man. They are absolutely disgusting.
You're touching a button that Mark Shimura touches.
Is he sticking his fingers in his mouth right now? No.
Yeah, I'm not.
But he's scratching his,
He's not touching any orifice of his body where germs are going to infiltrate.
Then he's eating. You are eating food in the break. Like you're acting as if something you touch doesn't have germs that you then touch that doesn't have you are touching and being around things that germs.
Actively being a disgusting human being by saying you don't wash it. Why are you defending this? Why are you defending us being healthy? Didn't Pfizer teach anything yesterday with the commercial?
Is it more because it's strangers at the party?
No, they didn't.
Is it because it's strangers at the party? You don't
if it was
know
my
them,
family
or
at the party, I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, family. Wow. With family, I remember growing up as a kid and my dad eating Cheeto Puffs. And I remember he'd fall asleep on the couch, and he used to put his hand in the Cheeto. He's a smoker too. Put his hand in the Cheeto Puffs and then just fall asleep with the stuff everywhere. I don't eat Cheeto Puffs to this day because I was scarred by my father just eating Cheeto Puffs with his smoky hand and putting it in the bag. So no, I don't really share with family neither.
Do you have to take a shower before you make love?
I'm a nasty dude. Now that's you get a little bit too much.
So now germs don't matter. 800-990-ESPN.
When the moment hit, baby.
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Did you just double dip that chip?
Excuse me? You double dipped the chip. Double dipped? What are you talking about? You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and you dipped again.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Join Shaka Smart, Jen Latta, and special guest Sean Jones Thursday, February 15th from 6 to 7 p.m. for Marquette Thursdays at Motor Bar and Restaurant on the Harley-Davidson Museum campus.
After a sluggish first half on National Marquette Day for the Golden Eagles, the second half proved the complete opposite. Tyler Kolek leads the way with 27 points in the win.
Kolek still with it. He'll try a logo three. Good! Why not? Why not? Good!
86-75 the final. Marquette gets the win on National Marquette Day over St. John's. And of course, you know Shaka Smart had something to say about Kolek's performance.
That was vintage Tyler Kolek. I can't really pick his best game that he's ever had at Marquette, but that one was up there.
A road contest up next for Marquette as they take on Butler on Tuesday night.
This has been your Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Motor Bar and Restaurant on the Harley-Davidson Museum campus is the home of Marquette Thursdays all season long.
Well, Mike, our family is expanding.
What? You're kidding. We donated the high chair and baby toys a long time ago.
Mike, we're not having a baby. Our PCI family needs to expand.
Oh, whew, you're right. Business keeps growing, and we need more carpenters.
We're looking for experienced full-time carpenters with a variety of skills.
Consider joining our team at Professional Construction, Inc.
Learn more and apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Cousins Subs is teaming up with Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin and Bobby Portis from January 15th to February 29th in support of their PB&J Challenge campaign. Throughout the campaign, Cousins will donate 50 cents for every kids' meal sold to support the challenge. But there's more. Kids will receive a Bobby Portis headband with each kids' meal purchase, and Cousins will be offering a limited time only PB&J kids meal during the campaign. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. Headbands available while supplies last.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Bruston Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle Bruston Nortman. With me and Brad probably more sad than Kyle that football's over. Kyle's ready for the offseason.
Yeah, I'm ready, baby.
800-990-ESPN. Streaming on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. We are Kyle Bruston Nortman. I'm Ben Brust. Brad Nortman, Super Bowl 50 loser and all the feels. And Kyle Wallace just looking to the future. And you know what? The floor is yours, Mr. Wallace, because you have a proclamation.
Well, first I want to say this. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs, to Patrick Mahomes, to Travis Swift, to old elderly abuse Andy Reid on winning another Super Bowl. Congratulations, fellas. Bravo. But as in the great words of my boy Deion Sanders, we coming. And when I say we coming, you got to go to YouTube. I got myself a nice little gift here.
You put it on backwards.
Okay, don't worry about me. Thank you.
I have to worry about you.
It's draft day, baby. You know why? I just put a brand new Jordan Love jersey on to let
$20 replica.
No, it ain't 20. This is expensive. I didn't buy this. This is expensive. This is a gift.
Looks sharp.
This is a gift. This is NFL quality. It's the shield. This is officially the proclamation that the Green Bay Packers season is officially started now with the offseason and the Packers getting ready to make a Super Bowl run. I am so excited for what the future holds for this Green Bay Packers team, and I couldn't be more happy to know that the NFL season is over and we can now turn the page to 2024, 2025 because my Packers
Were you trying to make a turn the page sound effect?
Did it work?
Kind of.
I mean,
that's exactly. But no, this is what this means now for all Packers fans. The excitement should start now because this is our opportunity. Last year, we did not know what we were walking into. We didn't know if Aaron Rodgers would be back. Literally, the dude went in the darkness, and we did not hear from him. He was talking about ayahuasca and not talking about his teammates. We didn't know what was going to happen. He ghosted our general manager. We didn't know what to expect going into this 2023 football season, but now we know what to expect. We know where our team is. And if you watched the Super Bowl yesterday, you probably felt like I did. Listen, we may not be a Super Bowl contender for this season, but I am ready for next season because my quarterback, Jordan Love, if he would have played yesterday, he was just as good as Pat Mahomes against the 49ers, and he was just as good or even better than Brock Purdy was against the Chiefs. So everybody should be excited that this jersey I got on right now, which looks really, really good, number 10, this man is leading us, and I'm telling you this right now. Our Super Bowl window is open, and it's time for us to get ready for a beautiful, beautiful season. The odds is what, 16-1?
16-1.
Go to Pato.
I mean,
are you going to Pato?
Go to Pato. I got 100 on it.
Okay.
Lying
I got 100 on it. I gotta wait for the 30th, the end of the month, see what my check look like. But I feel so good about this organization and the direction that we're going. So that's why I am so excited for the football season to be over. So now I get to track and watch everything my team does to build themselves up to be in the position to be playing in mid-February next year, and me watching the Super Bowl and me crying because my team may bring home the Lombardi Trophy, but I'm excited.
Whoa, how do you give that whole speech and then do a May bring it home?
I can't predict the Super Bowl championship, but I can
This
predict
was supposed to be a big proclamation, and then you hedge at the end.
We are coming. I'm saying we coming. We're going to be playing in the Super Bowl next year.
Do you need to wait and see what the team does throughout the offseason before you make that declaration?
Listen, Goody already said all I needed him to say. He said he's going to look at free agents signings. Goody was excited about re-signing Jordan Love. This place is a destination. People want to play with Jordan Love. We just talked about it during the break. Jordan Love went from literally, you didn't even know what he sounded like, to he's all over the internet. We got his coach, Steve Calhoun, his quarterback's coach with us, talking to us because Jordan is that good. He's doing podcasts with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the NFL. And what did he say? He said, I want the guy that torched my team and ended my season to join. That is respect. That is love. Jordan Love has arrived. He's the real
Micah
deal,
Parsons also said that TJ Watt is in the top 5 defensive rusher in the NFL. So I think just because you join a podcast doesn't mean that matters.
It just shows where he's ascended to. He wasn't at the Super Bowl last year. He wasn't doing no commercials last year on national stage. Jordan Love has arrived because everybody sees the talent, and Packer fans should be excited because now is the time. Our team is coming, baby.
608, David chimes in. Ben is a dork, Brad is voice of reason, and Kyle should be in a bubble. He is odd and weird. I could not agree more with all of that.
Dang. In a bubble?
And I like the odd and weird part of that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you're that. I hate to say it. That was a fraudulent proclamation.
No, it was not. This team is coming. We are here,
coming,
baby.
and saying, "Hey, are there 16-1? I'm going to Potawatomi Sportsbook to put a wager on that," and then saying, "Maybe I'll cry tears of joy if they win the Super." No, you're either saying this is the year now,
Super Bowl championship without seeing everything, but I believe we're going to make a Super Bowl run. This is going to be a fascinating and exciting season where we have expectations that our team can meet.
So that is the thing. This is going to be a year in which you had no expectations. You were a 7.5 win total heading into next year. That was your over-under. You did a lot of great things, but now you have the target. You were before the season, this Packer team was 4th in the odds to win the NFC North. Then towards the beginning of the season,
that's not good.
I know they were last, but then it switched. I think they were slightly above the Bears as they got closer to the season. They are going to be neck and neck with the Lions in terms of winning the NFC North. So with that, I love that. I love to see that expectation shift, but what comes with that is more pressure. What comes with that is being the hunted. When you're the hunting, like the Cowboys, like the Chiefs, like the Niners, like Detroit, and all those games that you're the hunting and you're the underdog. What does this team look like as the favorite? What does this team look like in a new scheme change, new piece? There's a lot to be figured out before I'm ready to have this proclamation.
Chicago tried to knock us off, and what happened?
I'm not worried about Chicago. Why are you using that one?
You're talking about the contenders of the NFC.
He's talking about the Super Bowl and then brings up Chicago.
I'm just saying.
You're all over the place. Chef Ed in Milwaukee, 800-990-ESPN. Welcome into Kyle Bruston Nortman.
How you doing, guys? Yeah, I'm not usually a hedger, but I'm kind of hedging about the question about did the Packers go as far as you think they should have? I mean, at the beginning of the season, yes, they went as far as they should, but I agree with you, Ben. They were hot. They were one of the hottest teams in the NFL at that time, and they had San Francisco. They had them. They had that game. So I'm kind of going back and forth in my mind about did they go far enough? I think they maybe could have got to the NFC Championship game and maybe could have beat Detroit. And Kyle, the one difference about saying Jordan was as good as Patrick. You got to remember, the guy, Patrick Mahomes, one thing that Jordan Love doesn't do as well as Patrick Mahomes is his legs. I mean, Jordan Love needs to run more. In today's NFL, you got your slashers, you got your running quarterbacks. I mean, who's the leading rusher for the Chiefs yesterday? It was Patrick
Mahomes.
with 66 yards.
Listen. That comes with time. That comes with experience. Our boy, hey, listen, Chef Ed, listen to me, man. I know we both Packer backers. He coming. We gonna be okay. He gonna get it all figured out. We gonna be celebrating next year, Chef Ed.
Thank you for the call, Chef Ed. And real quick, and I'll get to you, Brad. The whole we coming thing, how did that work this year?
Yeah, I mean,
listen, that was his first year. Okay, it was his first year. It wasn't the second year. We already know.
I just wish you would proclaim something with a little bit more of a track record, personally, for Jordan Love.
With Chef Ed's comment, I actually totally agree with him because what it comes down to is knowing when to run. I think that's a big deal because you don't see Patrick Mahomes wanting to run the ball a lot. He recognizes the defense and knows this is the time where I got to run. They're giving me those yards. That comes with experience. That comes with situational football knowledge. And Kyle, when it comes to this, proclamation, look, I think there's a ton of hope. I think Packer fans should be excited. I know I am. I just got to make sure that they correct some of these flaws along the way because that was the whole basis of this question. Did they go as far as they should have gone? I firmly believe they do because there was too many embedded flaws. At some point, it was going to bite them. And it did bite them. So I got to see if this special teams is more dialed in. I want to see what this 4-3 looks like.
Everything.
What the draft looks like.
Everything will be improved.
That is, you can't just say that without any reasoning.
Rich Bisaccia is too dang good as a coach. Goody
That's stupid. He's been here 2 years.
Goody
They got
Goody
worse in his
understands
second
what
year.
they need to do as well.
Goody's had 2 good drafts.
You brought in Coach Hafley.
Who?
Coach Hafley. You brought in Coach Okay, Anthony Campanelli. You brought him in as well. Yeah, he screams to get people ignited. But I'm telling you, don't y'all feel the energy? Don't y'all feel the frequency? Don't y'all just feel
That's not
like
real, Kyle.
That is absolutely
If it was real, then everything that we did would have propelled them to a Super Bowl.
Something special is happening in front of our eyes, and you guys are acting like you do not see it. You literally saw a quarterback go from being one of the bottom half quarterbacks in the NFL to what he was doing statistically wise to being the top quarterback in the NFL the last 11 games of the season to putting on an absolute show against the Dallas Cowboys in his first playoff game ever to going toe-to-toe, leading his team, and though he threw an interception late, but still putting his team in a position and an opportunity to potentially beat the 49ers in the playoffs. We are seeing greatness in front of our eyes. We're seeing young players and young weapons develop in front of our eyes. Guys, we are seeing the birth of a great NFL team in the Green Bay Packers that are going to have longevity. Why are we running away from this? Listen, if this
we're listening. You keep saying listen.
I'm just saying, we are witnessing it, and I want y'all to jump on because y'all going to be too late, man. Like Deion said, our bags is Louis too.
That is such a Deion comment. I love the offense. I love Jordan Love. I love what they can do there. But I think what the Super Bowl teaches us is it takes complete teams with complete coaching staffs to be able to actually hoist the Lombardi Trophy.
You basically just said you have blind faith. That's all you told me.
Oh. Goody.
Ryan chimes in. Kyle Wallace and his blind faith. It's very amusing. You're literally just having blind faith.
You know what just confuses me is that you have a football team that I believe finished the season. Correct me if I'm wrong. We went 8-3 to finish the season over our last 11 games. That is
Kyle, year over year, so much changes. Haven't you been a football fan?
Wait a minute. Jordan Love played spectacular, was lights out to end the season. Why do we think that this team is going to regress? Fellas, this team is only getting better. They're the youngest team since the 70s. You don't
just get better every year. It doesn't just mean you're going to get better. You have to give me reasons as to why.
So when the Packers lost in the playoffs against the Cardinals, I believe in the 2009-2010 season, everybody said, hey, this team, in a loss against the Cardinals, this team, they may have it. They got some pieces there. And what did they do the next year?
They were a wild card team. No one was saying they were going to win the Super Bowl that year.
I was.
So
go
just
back
stop.
And look at my social media, baby. Go back.
That's because you were.
I said, listen,
going through puberty, 16-year-old.
I must be going through puberty again at 30-some years old too, because I'm excited for what, and I get a tingly feeling because I'm excited about
JB chimes in. Listening to Kyle spew on and on with nothing to back it up is comical, and I agree. I'm just asking you to back something up. Just saying they're going to be great because of the good season that Jordan Love had at the end here. That doesn't mean the Packers are going to be great. That means you have a great QB. That doesn't mean that no one's going to regress from the wide receiver position. That doesn't mean you don't have holes to fill on the defense. You're changing your scheme. You're trusting in Goody blindly. You don't even know the first thing about Hafley.
I know he knows how to hire a heck of a staff.
Oh, yeah?
We don't know much about the staff.
Listen, we'll play the clip. Play the clip.
Play the hype clip.
Play the clip. I know
Kyle's
all I
gonna
need
run
to
through
know.
a wall
Not
after
all
this
I
clip.
need to know, fellas. I'm telling y'all this right now.
Don't play the clip.
There is something in the air. The Packers in the last two.
Something is in the air.
Goody has hit it on the last two draft classes. The way to be successful, if Brad said it last week, you got to build through the draft, and then you got to sprinkle in some of those sweets and desserts, I think you said, or something special.
Yeah, some luxuries
You
here and there.
You got to buy some luxuries, and this is exactly what Goody's going to do. He's going to get this team some luxuries. As we transition from the 3-4 to the 4-3 defense, he knows we're going to need some luxuries as well. This team is not far off. This team is developing and getting better. They still have good pieces on defense, and they have great developing pieces on offense, and that's why we should be excited. You guys saw what I saw, and we saw a team that Ben even said could have played in the Super Bowl this year. They're going to be ready to go next year.
Cheers to and pour went out. I know my pour went out. It's Kyle next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
See you again.
Oh, you need some.
And then I said, I appreciate it. The same goes for you. Let me know if anything I can do for you. Obviously, what am I going to do for Russell Wilson? You're the man.
Babysit his kids.
BFF.
Fake relationship of all time.
No way.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We are seeing some problems already. 894 northbound, couple of problems. The two left lanes are blocked north of Beloit Road on 894 northbound. We've also got a broken down semi at about Oklahoma Avenue blocking the left lane there. So it is going to be a tight squeeze heading northbound on the Rock Freeway. Other than that, westbound 94 just a little bit tight heading through the stadium interchange. A little slow on southbound 43 as well as you're making your way past Fond du Lac Avenue into the Marquette. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 28. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, flurries possible with a high of 38. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Even when you think you know what's going on,
The Chefs are 7, and they cannot win a Super Bowl.
you can never be too sure.
Until Taylor Swift, on her birthday, says no to Kelsey with an engagement ring.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Does he have to ask her before getting the ring? Or no? Can he just give her the ring?
Morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Be greeted by an owner at America's largest employee-owned jewelry store.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here to tell you about one of the best purchases I recently made, an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. It's an easy-to-install sauna that is great for a post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification, and it has a rapid heat-up time. Using Good Health Saunas can also help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. Got an athlete in your family or just someone with an active lifestyle? Infrared saunas are perfect for muscle and tissue recovery as well. Learn more today at goodhealthsaunas.com, goodhealthsaunas.com.
Bucks fans, join us for our 414 All Nights, a celebration of our diverse fan base where we showcase fan stories and highlight their unique and impactful contributions to our community. Come for the amazing Bucks basketball action. Stay for the recognition of our amazing fan base at our 414 All Nights, where diversity is embraced and every fan is celebrated. Go to bucks.com/impact for dates and details.
Make this Valentine's Day special for your love. Shop local and trust Welke's Milwaukee florists as the experts. Start Valentine's week early and bring some romance into your life by ordering her a professionally designed Welke's arrangement. Hand delivered to your home or office, Welke's has 100% freshness guaranteed. They offer same-day delivery and have locations in Elm Grove and in Milwaukee at 56th and North. Order now and enter code ESPN to get 10% off your order. Go to welkes.com and do it now.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle Brust and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Ben Brust alongside Packer backer, proudly wearing his Jordan Love jersey, Kyle Wallace. Brad Nortman to my left. You can see it all on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. And as always, text us, call us, 800-990-3776. But every Monday after the weekend, we got a cheers to. We got to pour one out.
The weekend is over, so let's pop some bottles. It's time for Cheers to and Pour One Out on Kyle Brust and Nortman.
Brad, what are you cheersing to?
I would love to cheers, grab my carbless, and take a big old cheers to the specialists in the Super Bowl. That's right, the kickers and the punters. I know that the end of the game was totally overtaken by the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and offense, but you know what? The first half of the game dominated by specialists. The punters were bombing punts, a couple inside the 10. Kickers are setting records left and right with longest field goals in NFL history outside of Jake Moody's blocked PAT, which ended up being a huge difference in the game. The specialists utterly balled out. I even tweeted last night, it's the Super Bowl America didn't even know it needed because the specialists were doing so well. It also made me think of the Green Bay Packers and how much we need Anders Carlson and Daniel Whalen to take that next step, because you got to win games like that sometimes where your specialists dominate field position and hit kicks. Cheers to the specialists last night in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was nice. I like that. Shout out to the special teams folks, even though they got a field goal kick block, but it caused the 49ers to maybe lose the football game. But sure, we'll go with that one. But I'm going to do a different little cheers here. Is that I'm going to cheers to a couple people. I'm going to start with Usher. Cheers to Usher for a great halftime show. I enjoyed listening and watching into the entire show. I was singing and doing my thing. I truly enjoyed it. And also, cheers to, guess what? Taylor Swift. You know I say cheers to Taylor Swift?
Oh, gosh.
Taylor
Here
Swift,
comes a backhanded compliment if I've ever seen one.
Even though her carbon footprint was massive, going from Japan all the way to L.A., then going to Las Vegas. I know she cares about the environment. I enjoyed, she didn't overtake the Super Bowl. She didn't. It's that she had Ice Spice with her. She had Blake Lively with her as well. This box looked pretty cool. I actually enjoyed seeing a couple of the pans to Taylor. She looked like she was having a good time. So cheers to Taylor. Now, I think she tried to chug a beer, too. Is that correct?
I mean, I couldn't tell if it was white wine or beer.
It was pretty sorry effort.
See, look, haters now. Look
come
how
on.
the haters
You've
have
never blacked out in your life. You can't judge.
Cheers to Taylor. And lastly, cheers to Beyonce for a phenomenal commercial where she released the album, basically in the commercial saying, release the album, release the new music.
It was so good that I didn't even realize.
I had to go. I was on myself. I found myself on social media trying to find a new song during the Super Bowl.
Do you think Beyonce
Did you notice that Taylor as well didn't go up on stage with Travis? She gave him that moment.
I didn't pay attention to
Do you think Beyonce realized that Taylor Swift was going to take the headlines on Sunday, and she thought, you know what, I got to do something. I got to do something to compete with Taylor.
Verizon paid that money for that Super Bowl ad, so she said she's going to maximize people being around each other to talk about that. So, hey, cheers to my boy Usher. Cheers to Taylor Swift, who I no longer have any animosity towards. And cheers to Beyonce, the Queen Bee.
I'm going to cheers to Steve Calhoun, who joined us on Friday live from Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Because I'm not going to lie, of all the things that Kyle has said that has no context and reason, Well, the reasons that Steve Calhoun got me excited about Jordan Love is telling us the insight as to how he got to where he is and talking about how close and young this group is. Like, Jordan Love is not Patrick Mahomes, but Jordan Love is going to be the franchise quarterback that I believe, because of the way he carries himself, I don't see him ever becoming an Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. And when I say that, I mean nothing to do with on the field. I mean everything to do with off the field. Jordan Love seems like he's got such a even-keeled, humble, his upbringing that Steve mentioned to us. I think we got a quarterback that is good and one that's not going to drive everyone crazy in 15 years. Cheers to Steve Calhoun for the insight on Jordan Love. If you missed that, go to Wisconsin On Demand.
Now that's a good cheers. Now my opportunity to pour one out. My pour one out, good friend of mine, old teammate.
This sounds, when you say I have to pour one out and you say good friend of mine, that's usually never.
Good friend of mine. I actually
he didn't die, right?
What?
When you usually pour one out.
No, it's just I'm pouring one out for J.J. Watt's haircut. Now, J.J. Watt has really stepped into his media gig so nicely. I mean, when he is working for a CBS and he's on the studio show, he has great insights. He's articulate. He's doing everything that you thought he would do as a former player and a superstar that is just natural for that role. However, he decided, for whatever reason, to take a risk, roll the dice in Vegas, so to speak, and change up the haircut. The haircut went to being kind of like just normal, traditional J.J. Watt to kind of this like spiky 90s grunge band type of haircut. It looked like he was about to be performing with Green Day. And I caught notice of it.
He should have frosted the tips.
I should have frosted the tips. We would have really leaned into it.
It would look like me in 7th grade.
And the whole, do you have frosted tips?
Hollister, Abercrombie, the whole nine.
Man, no surprise
I like
there.
girls who wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
So yeah.
Oh, great. We just sounded like Tony Romo singing into the out of the broadcast.
So J.J. Watt, new haircut, really interesting. Pour one out for the haircut specifically, but he redeemed himself with this hilarious tweet after the fact. He said, quote, "You ever switch up your hair and wonder if anyone will notice? They notice."
They sure do.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was bad.
It wasn't
bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
What's worse than bad?
Horrible.
What's worse than horrible?
Train wreck.
What's worse than train wreck?
Dumpster fire.
There it is.
Nice.
Kyle?
Yeah, for me, I'm pouring one out for these Wisconsin Badgers basketball team. I'm so sick of this. I am sick of this. Listen, I look and I see the Badgers are down by like 15 to Nebraska, against Rutgers. Like, what is going on? So I'm pouring one out to Wisconsin Badgers. And Ben, you better make a phone call. You better
Nothing like an early February pour out to a college basketball team.
They've lost 4 games in a row to some sorry teams. You need to make a phone call.
Lost 5 of 6 in Big Ten play when we went to the Final Four. Now,
Ben,
I don't think this team has a Frank Kaminsky, but
you need to do a Capinelli type speech.
You
to that
do
team.
something.
That's what it's going to take.
I'm not a Capinelli speech guy. I'm not a speech guy.
It's inside of you, Ben. You got it.
You need to text our good friend Coach.
Coach got it. Coach has got it.
I thought Coach had it, but then Coach went and lost to Michigan, and then he lost to Rutgers.
This has been a fascinating Kyle Wallace
Go out
show.
there and honor the people you love. Play as hard as you can. Attack the ball like it's some guy running down the street or your mother, your father. I don't know who the my kids.
Go get the rebound.
Like, that would make me out of my mind.
Yeah, that's what they needed.
That's Greg Gard talking to the team before their game coming up.
Definitely not what he said to them.
Is it Joe?
Or the shoot around?
Anthony Campanelli.
Is it Tony?
That's a great question.
Don't disrespect my new coach.
Antonio.
Y'all gonna know his name. Anthony Campanelli.
I love that you care more about the inside linebacker's defensive run coordinator than you do about the actual defensive coordinator.
Jeff. Everybody needs their right-hand man.
Yeah, first name basis.
I would like to pour one out to Tony Romo. He sucks. He's so bad. He won't shut up. Let me enjoy a freaking moment. I mean, you suck. Yes. He was so bad yesterday. Singing into break because he saw Adele, making Jim Nantz sing into break, like going into break. Like everything he did was an absolute, as you had said, Brad, train wreck. I just wanted to tweet, Tony Romo, shut the bleep up. But I couldn't do that because I can't put swear words in my tweets because that's a bad luck. Tony Romo, pour one out for once being known as the up-and-coming broadcaster to one that should be replaced immediately.
Hello from the other side.
I can't keep. Yo, are you good, man?
He's.
Do you got ADD?
Maybe. I like Tony Romo.
Of course you do.
I like Tony Romo. I like random stuff like that. That's why I can't.
You know how we counted F-bombs from Mr. Campanelli? He did 15. Apparently, there was 41 gyms yesterday. And I think that's probably light.
Oh, Jim. I don't know how he does it, but he does that. He says that all the time. He leans into that,
yeah, Jim, you see that? I liked it. I liked the energy.
Jimmy might have caught it. It might be a first down.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yep, he got it.
Everyone in the audience can see what I'm seeing, but I'm just saying it anyway. Jim.
That's what he's supposed to do. You're just a hater.
No, I'm not. Everyone.
I don't mind Tony. I feel like you need. I feel like it's almost like a rule. You need to have a strong. Like you either love him or hate him.
No,
I'm kind of in the middle.
He's just bad.
No, he's not bad. He's intelligent. He can call out plays before it happens. Yep. See, they run that play right there. Yep. I like that.
I heard him say
And
like
he's from
5
Wisconsin.
times, Jim, I'd go for a 4th down on this one. Like in the weirdest times.
We
Like,
were
wait a
in
minute, what?
overtime,
Yeah.
and the Niners got the ball on their own 30s, like it's 4-down territory. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was bold.
I'm with him. I like him. I think we need to
like him
respect
too.
the hometown guy.
It's not an easy job either.
It is not. The pride and joy of Burlington, Wisconsin.
Cheers to and pour one out right there, but just cheers to Carbless like you did, Brad, and tell us about it.
I'm always cheering to Carbless. That's because Carbless, it's my favorite go-to beverage. I'll tell you what, whether it be this weekend, like Saturday night, I'm just hanging back, or I'm watching the big game, I'm going down, I'm cracking.
Carbless!
Look at the Carbless there. Look at how Brad's drinking it. Because I'm always drinking Carbless. It's my favorite go-to cocktail. I can drink it without the health guilt. You guys know me. I'm working out. I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm not willing to sacrifice when it comes to being able to enjoy myself at night. And Carbless has 0 carbs, no sugar, 100 calories per can, gluten-free, less carbonation, just the right amount of carbonation to just make it delicious, but not so much that you feel that bloat like every other drink. And it's made right here in Wisconsin, which is another thing that I love about Carbless. But not just that. It's the flavors. I'm talking to some of you guys on our group chat on here on YouTube. You guys are trying it online. You're tasting mojito. I know they just come out with a couple new flavors. So you guys are trying it too and understanding why it is so good, why it's so refreshing, and you don't experience any guilt when drinking it. Experience why less is more and find them online and at retailers near you.
Jason Wilde joins us next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
Giannis does look like a longer, he beats on his body, like kind of plays so rough you wonder about. Shut up, Max. Yeah.
I'm not letting that one pass.
Yeah, I just realized beats on his body. Like I meant like physical.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Physicality down there.
Come on, Kyle.
No, you guys are, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure your minds are in the gutter. Grow up.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We are seeing some problems already. 894 northbound, couple of problems. The 2 left lanes are blocked north of Beloit Road on 894 northbound. We've also got a broken down semi at about Oklahoma Avenue blocking the left lane there. So it is going to be a tight squeeze heading northbound on the Rock Freeway. Other than that, westbound 94 just a little bit tight heading through the stadium interchange. A little slow on southbound 43 as well as you're making your way past Fond du Lac Avenue into the Marquette. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 28. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, flurries possible with a high of 38. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
Process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at LowTUSA.com.
With your Siganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Ashton Rotman. It was all Tyler Kolek leading the way for a second-half comeback for Marquette on National Marquette Day.
Kolek still with it. He'll try a logo three. Good! Why not? Why not? You think it can't get better, and it just did.
27 points for Kolek and an 86-75 Marquette win as the Golden Eagles turned a 9-point halftime deficit into a 20-point advantage in the second half. Next up, it's Marquette visiting Butler on Tuesday night.
Who makes dental and vision insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. If you ask yourself who encourages you to use your dental and vision benefits for preventative care, provides quick service, offers access to the largest provider networks, and helps you save money when you need more than a checkup, there's only one answer. Definitely Delta Dental. For more information, call Eric Pearson, Siganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Eric Pearson, Siganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Opening day, and all 2024 Brewers games go on sale Thursday, February 15th. That's tickets to any game you want, any way you want, all season. Featuring new giveaways, new theme and community nights, can't miss ticket deals, and all the season's best Brewers action. Make sure you're here for every moment. Check out the complete schedule now and grab your Brewers ticket starting on Thursday, February 15th.
Q Club of Wisconsin is your hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out qclubofwisconsin.com.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership by joining the U.S. Army ROTC. Army ROTC programs transform students into confident leaders and provide a wide range of scholarships to help pursue life-defining careers. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth. Gain the experience and get the resources to open doors down the road. Army ROTC is open for enrollment. Visit goarmy.com/ROTC to learn more about available opportunities and scholarships, including at Marquette University.
This is Kyle Bruston-Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Tell me now, do you want it? 'Cause these dancing feet don't cry to the rhythm they cry for you.
Joining us as he does every Monday, when I can keep a decent clock at this time, is Jason Wilde of Wilde and Tausch across ESPN Wisconsin. You can hear him on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon. I'm Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman. We are Kyle Brust-Nortman. Jason, one of the bigger takeaways that I have from the Super Bowl in looking at the Green Bay Packers is when I watched both the Chiefs D-line and the Niners D-line, it just made me think, and I'd be curious, when is the last time the Packers had like a really dominant position group?
Well, hi, guys. I would a position group in general, or like a front group like those two teams have?
I mean, like linebackers, cornerback and safeties, like front four.
Okay, Ben, I just wanted to know if you wanted the defensive line specifically or a variety of position groups. First of all, I would say that their outside linebacker group or their front four in 2019, when they were toward the top in sacks and both the Smith brothers were going and playing really well, I would say that their corner group, when both Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas in 2021 were on top of their games. Now, obviously, Jair ended up missing a bunch of time with that shoulder injury that year, which is what led them to get Rasul Douglas. But if you look at their defense last year, in Joe Barry's second year, even though they didn't make the playoffs, we felt pretty good about their corner group, especially before the season-ending injury in Detroit to Eric Stokes. So, I mean, they've had some really good groups on defense. Now, I'm not a huge believer in the inside linebacker group right now. I still think they're going to probably move on from Devondre Campbell, but maybe not. But I was expecting a big jump from Quay Walker this year. I didn't get it. So on defense, I think they've got some decisions to make at inside linebacker. They've got now all those edge rushers are now defensive ends. So it'll be interesting to see how the defensive line group comes together. And then, they're wide open at safety. They've got 2 guys under contract right now. So that's not a great situation either.
Jason, I said today that, reflecting on the season after watching the Super Bowl, the Packers went exactly as far as they should have this year with a divisional round loss. Even though it was kind of a heartbreaking loss, they had a lot of flaws that you just knew were going to bite them somewhere along the way. So I said, this is exactly as far as they should have went. What do you say to that? Do you agree or disagree?
I say that's an incredibly reasonable take, which makes it extremely controversial. There's a lot of Packers fans that really believe that they could have won the Super Bowl. And look, they could have, but here's the thing, and you know this from having played in the league. It takes so many things for you. You played in the Super Bowl, right? And the idea, you went to an AFC championship game with the Jaguars, right? Like,
That's right.
To get to those points in the season, all the teams are varying degrees of good. Mike McCarthy used to have this thing that there are 3 types of NFL players because they're all good. There's good players who are capable of great moments, and then there are great players. And my point is that, yeah, the Packers could have been playing yesterday. They would have had to play mistake-free football, largely, right? I mean, the mistakes that they made against the 49ers that ensured that they were not playing yesterday, 2 dropped interceptions, a missed field goal at a critical moment, an interception with a chance to go drive and take the lead or tie the game. Those are all the kinds of mistakes that you have to avoid, especially in critical moments when you want to advance to a Super Bowl. Now, you look at yesterday, Christian McCaffrey lost the fumble, Isaiah Pacheco lost the fumble, Patrick Mahomes threw an interception. So those are moments that were earlier in the game, still critical, don't get me wrong, but plenty of time to recover from them, and recover from them the Chiefs did, right? And so I look at the Packers and say they earned everything they got, both good and bad, that their season ended when it did. And it sets the table magnificently for them next year. They obviously, everybody, including the San Francisco 49ers, have to start over, as Tausch likes to say, at the bottom of Mount Everest. And we'll have to wait and see if the Packers can put together the same kind of journey that they put together this year, or a better one, which, they went 9-8. I think reasonable people can pick them to go 11-6 or something like that. But again, there's a lot of variables. And I think you're exactly right, but don't let Tausch hear me say that, because he spent a lot of time believing that they should have been playing yesterday.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Kyle!
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good talking to you again. And you were just talking about climbing Mount Everest. What exactly do you think the Packers need to do? What are the next steps in order for the Packers to have the pieces they need to fully climb Mount Everest? Because I am in the space of thinking that the Packers are a legitimate Super Bowl threat for next year. But please help me. What is the next steps the Packers need to take to climb Mount Everest?
So they are, but I thought it was interesting. I got some futures lines that I had sent to me today.
Yeah,
for next year's Super Bowl.
I thought you were talking about the rapper Future. I'm going to say, what lyrics do you have from Future?
The Lions were 7-1, Jason. The Packers were 16-1, which I thought was interesting.
The Cowboys are 18-1. The Eagles are 18-1. I'm just doing NFC. Obviously, the 49ers are 6-1, so they're the favorite in the NFC. But again, that's a team that A, has to recover from a Super Bowl disappointment, and B, is not getting any younger, whereas the Packers are in a really good spot in terms of having a bunch of young guys who got a ton of experience and now should benefit from that next year. So, look, there's 7 teams that make the NFC and AFC playoffs each. Only one gets a bye. That is not a guarantee that you will make the Super Bowl. The 49ers did. The Baltimore Ravens didn't. But the Packers are most clearly in that mix. They've got the 3rd best odds in the NFC, right? I mean, that tells you right there that we all think that they're, both we and the folks that set those types of lines, believe that they are a contender. But again, the challenge here is not. I don't think there's any debate that they're a Super Bowl contender. The debate is when the games are on the line and the most critical moments come upon them, are they going to be up to the task or not? And we won't know until they're in that situation because let's be honest, we have just, especially for you, Kyle, as a die-hard Packers fan, we have gone through a very lengthy Super Bowl berth drought while having one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history playing the position. And if you want to add that to that Brett Favre after Super Bowl 32, that's an awfully long drought.
Yes, it is.
And so, Jason, with all that being said, like Goody obviously drafted Love, and that makes up for the 2020 draft in a lot of people's eyes. But there's also been a lot of misses even up to that. You can argue 2022 was good. Last year was obviously good. What would you focus on if you're Goody through draft and free? Like, how do you prioritize which guys we need to pick up in free agency versus this guy's in the draft? Like, do you just go with the board, or like, how do you think Goody will go about the team building process? Because it's, again, like you just mentioned it. You had Aaron Rodgers. This team has some holes. They have talent offensively, but I'm watching last games, two defenses play really, really well. The special teams be bad the last couple years. Like, do we trust Goody to be able to put those parts together?
Well, he's done a pretty good job, right? I mean, look, I think the jury is very much still out on the 2022 draft. I mean, I don't think – I haven't seen anything from Devontae Wyatt that would tell me, boy, this guy's really good. He's going to be a difference maker. He's going to be a field-tilting player for these guys moving forward. I expected Quay Walker to make a very meaningful jump, and I did not see that occur, right? And so, Watson has dealt with the hamstring issues, so we don't know what he is. Sean Ryan looks like he's being penciled in as the starting right guard, and they're going to let Runyon leave. I hate Sean Ryan. John Runyon always gets me tripped up. They hit on Zach Tom. I think everyone likes Romeo Dobbs. Enigbare was really in a good spot before his injury, right? So there's a lot of really good football players there.
Where does Quay fit in a 4-3? Sorry, real quick.
He'll be the middle linebacker, I would think. Maybe they put him outside and have him get to the edges. But he's a really good athlete. He runs like the wind. He's got great size. I'm eager to see if he puts it together, because I thought this was the year he was going to put it together, and he had the pick in the first game, the pick 6, and then he never really went much further than that last season. So, look, they've got a really good rookie class that we're expecting to make a huge year 2 jump. Both the GM and the coach are putting the pressure on those guys to make a big jump and not just be happy with what they were able to do as rookies. But you go back to the 21 draft, that's the group that's going to be free agents. And I look at that list. Eric Stokes, who knows what he is? Josh Myers improved during the second half of last season, but do we think that he's playing in his last year and they'll replace him? Probably. That's what I think. Amari Rodgers is gone. Royce Newman isn't on the team, is probably not going to be back next year, I would think. I would think that they would draft multiple offensive linemen, and he would be the one who'd be in danger. TJ Slayton has been inconsistent, like many defensive linemen are. Shamar John-Charles is gone. Cole Van Lanen is gone. Kylan Hill is gone. And they've got Isaiah McDuffie, who could be an option at one of the linebacker spots. So the last 3 drafts, everyone's very excited about last year, and rightfully so. But I'm not sure that there's been that many home runs at 22 and 21. And you mentioned 20 with Jordan Love and John Runyon, but that's about it out of that draft that you've got to show for it. And when John Runyon leaves in free agency, you don't have him to show for it either. Because I'm guessing they're not going to bring back Josiah DeGuara. So they've got their work cut out for them. Goody's got to be – I mean, the dream scenario is that Goody has the kind of draft on the defensive side of the ball that he had on the offensive side of the ball, whatever it was, not 9-10 months ago. And if that happens, then they're in a really good spot. But that's a pretty big ask, because drafts like they had on offense last year are not easy to pull off, but it looks like he did.
Well, Jason, we appreciate you going through those draft classes with us. It will definitely be interesting to see how this shakes out. We got a lot to figure out in the next 6 to 8 months here.
They do. We don't. We know that you've got this under control, and Kyle's going to be all excited, and Brad's going to be the voice of reason. Like, we don't have anything to figure out.
Yes, sir. You sound like the texters right now. Literally spot on. We appreciate the time, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. React to Jason's comments there, because I think there's something there, right? Like, going through those draft classes, it's easy for Kyle to talk about and just get excited about names, but in terms of actual production, you're going to need them to hit on some defensive picks. They've used their first-round pick so many times on defense. Can they actually hit on a couple of those and build upon that, especially safety position? A lot to be figured out this offseason if they want to be Super Bowl contenders like Kyle thinks. All coming up next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
My offer, as we've come up with at KBN, thanks to JD and Fondy, reutilizing Judy, who's still in my garage right now.
Is she a big booty Judy or a little flapjack booty Judy?
She's got a little something to her. I'll say that.
She got some
Judy the blow-up doll. She got a little something to her.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. It's back to the top 5 for the Golden Eagles.
Kolek still with it. He'll try a logo 3. Good! Why not? Why not? Good! You think it can't get better, and it just did.
On Tuesday night, number 4 Marquette visits Butler looking for win number 8 in a row. Our coverage starts at 5 with Gabe Neitzel and the Marquette Sports Network pregame show. Homer and Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith have tip-off at 5:30. 94.5 ESPN, the official home for Marquette basketball.
Engagement rings, wedding bands, and big anniversary diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust here, because Forward Healthy Lifestyles has shown me that getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. We used to think getting older meant having less energy, less muscle, less endurance, less sex, and perhaps a bit more joint pain and weight around that waist. Not anymore. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles help men optimize their hormone levels, including testosterone, providing cutting-edge regenerative medicine therapies, and even help men lose stubborn weight with programs like semaglutide. In 2024, change your life. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Hear that? The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
They say love is a universal language. Well, that's definitely true if you're talking about bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? Forget the chocolates. Give the gift of bacon. It's everyone's love language. And you're going to love it that our bacon's on sale right now. With quick hot savings, we're taking bacon down to $2.49 a 12-ounce pack. Limit 2. Savings on bacon? Whoa, that's 2 love languages at once. And we're multilingual like that. Quick Trip. We're saving your bacon.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home.
Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
New kids on the block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club, because you know what? When you're there, just look around. You'll see upgrades all the time to the equipment, the facility, the locker room, whatever it may be. They have something for you. For me, I don't want that dad bod. Free childcare with the membership is going to help that. Open 24/7. They have something for everyone. 8 locations in Madison, 1 in New Berlin. Find your better tomorrow, and all you need to do is have the courage to step into one of their facilities, get a tour, and you will love it. The Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow. Ben Brust here alongside Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman. We are KBN across ESPN Wisconsin. We just were joined by Jason Wilde. If you missed that, catch it on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. And, you know, a lot of us do this exercise where we talk about Goody's drafts and go through it. When we were talking to Jason and going through 2022, 2020, 21, and even thinking about 2020, I was really just Jordan Love and I believe blanking on the offensive lineman. Regardless, I care about defensive players because all the capital that's been invested in defensive players, Jason said it, they need to have a draft that was like this year for the offense, this next year for the defense. And it's hard for me to have optimism that Goody's going to be able to hit on something like that.
Well, and it's ironic, too, because you look at the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense is young. Between 2020 and 2022, 2023, they put a lot of draft capital toward the defense, and they've got all pros on the cornerbacks. They've got some stud middle linebackers, and obviously they got some guys up front that are able to, get pressure on the quarterback and stop the run. So it's possible. It's certainly possible to do it as a sustainable way to build the defense. But Goody gets a lot of credit for Jordan Love and the offense. But deservingly so, as he does. He needs to start hitting on the defense, though, because it's clearly able to be done. That's the only way to realistically do it for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, for me, the Green Bay Packers, 2023 was a big year. 2023 was a big year because the draft class that you got, we're talking about the offensive side. The defensive side did fine, too. Lucas Van Ness is going to be okay.
He didn't do anything, and is going to be okay is based off of nothing.
He's going to be okay. What we should be criticizing Goody for, because at this point right now, he did a good job in 2023. 2022 was okay. The biggest issue that we should have with Goody is that, as Jason said, a field tilting type player defensively. The guy that we talked about, the difference maker defensively. That is the area he has failed at, and that's why sometimes if you can't find a difference maker that you can actually draft, that's why you need to dip into your little money bags and you need to throw money at somebody, because you cannot, if you identify, I don't have the ability to find this type of player, but we have money that we can throw at this type of player that can be an impact player. We did it for Charles Woodson. We tried to do it for Julius Peppers as well. We did it for Reggie White. It's about that time that the Packers throw money at somebody to get somebody to be a different. Yeah, to be a difference maker for this team for the next 3 to 4 years.
Not enough credit there for a Lizzo poll. I don't even know.
No, it wasn't good. The poll was good, but it wasn't.
I'm not Lizzo. Of course it wasn't going to be that good. The poll is what I was looking for. Chris, get it on the poll for the 414 at 4. The 414 at 4.
Thank you.
Because we're going to be here on 94.5 ESPN in 2 minutes. Rutledge and Hamilton in Madison. Most important for the Packers offseason in 2024. Goody hitting on the picks, Goody spending money, or Jordan Love's development? Because, Kyle, you said reaching into the money bags. I think that's important. But, again, you still have to hit on the draft because the draft is for the future. 2-3 years. You got to be able to have these guys come in and make an impact. They haven't right now. We'll be back in 2 minutes discussing that. 800-990-3776. Don't go anywhere.
A couple of issues right now. Northbound on 894, just north of Beloit Road, we have an accident. Was blocking the 2 left lanes. Looks like they were able to move everything off to the right, so at least we got that going for us. Unfortunately, the damage is done. We got delays back through the hail in all directions. Northbound on 4394, we do have an accident at Howard Avenue. The right lane is still blocked with that, and that's backing things up back through the Plainfield curve. On westbound 94, slowing out of the Marquette interchange all the way to 2 Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Harley-Davidson Museum. Don't miss the Mama Tried Motorcycle Show and the HD Factory Outlet Sale in Rumble on the Harley-Davidson Museum's campus from February 22nd through the 25th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 28. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with flurries possible with a high of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Make a stop at the Harley-Davidson Museum before heading out to the Mama Tried Motorcycle Show. They'll have food and drink specials from the motor bar and restaurant. Explore their newest exhibit, Mama Tried, bringing it together, and take a free shuttle to the rave for Saturday's show. The HD Factory Outlet Sale in Rumble includes fantastic deals on end of season and discontinued Harley-Davidson motor clothes and merchandise. Don't miss the fun pre-show gatherings. Thursday, February 22nd through Sunday, February 25th at the Harley-Davidson Museum.
Hey, Wayne, shopping for a new door? Do you need something more dependable?
Yes, something that's durable, dent-resistant, knows how to take a hit, and is going to last for years.
We're still talking about the door, right?
Oh, yeah, right, of course.
Wayne Larrabee and Jeff Levering shopping together at Pella? What next? How about 0% interest for up to 60 months when you place your order by February 23rd at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 2/23/2024.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's the 414 hour at 4 on KBN.
And apparently until we go to Burleigh, Brad and I can't say 414, so it's going to be Kyle for a while.
It will be. But we're going to go to Burleigh because Milwaukee's a good, great city. And I'm going to take y'all down to Burleigh and take y'all down all the streets and get rid of any misconceptions people may have. But we're going to get y'all into the city since y'all from the burbs. I'm going to take y'all on a field trip across this beautiful city of Milwaukee. Y'all ready for that?
I can't wait.
All right now.
Powerful. Kyle Wallace, the voice of the 414. Ben Brust, the voice of the 414. And Brad Nortman, the voice of the 262.
That's really well put, actually. That's
Probably.
really well put.
Probably summarized nicely. And Chris, the voice of?
Also 262, I believe.
Yeah, 262.
But the outskirts of the 262, fair?
Oh, wow. That discrimination of outskirts and inskirts and insides of outsides of the 262.
20 minutes outside of Milwaukee.
Even the way Chris said, the 262.
Yeah, it was different.
Cool. Except, I'm from the 262.
We have 4 different personalities that reach all different types of areas.
Sure do.
Look at us.
It makes it so beautiful.
I'm Ben Brust.
I'm probably the most versatile.
Well, my cell phone's 414.
Oh,
it is 414.
That's the only time he spent time on the 414.
Oh, Chris has been coming to the 414 forever.
Now, we just teased it before we went to break, and it is up on Twitter at KBN ESPN. What is the most important aspect of this Green Bay offseason? The NFL draft, free agency, or Jordan Love's development? And I'm fascinated to see how much stock gets put into free agency, because my warning to you right now is, although they have a little scratch, do not expect them to break the bank, because they never do it. Even in 2018, right? They brought in the Smith brothers, who weren't actually brothers, but they call themselves brothers, so we'll go with that. Billy Turner and Adrian Amos. That felt like they signed the Monstars, and they didn't. They signed good players that made an impact on that 2019 football team. Since then, who? Exactly. Crickets and no real difference makers to this team. So that's why I'm fascinated to see the results. But my overall point of how we get here is, when watching the Super Bowl, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not two people. I'm thinking to myself, the Chiefs D-line.
2 people in that brain.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like eight people in this brain. The Chiefs D-line was great. The 49ers D-line, for the most part, was great. And so how can the Packers get dominant in the 4-3, right? They're going to have to hit in free agency, and they're going to have to hit in the draft. Now, to me, it's a pipe dream on free agency, because I haven't seen them do this in a long time, I guess since 2018, if we're going to use that as a barometer. But I think they need to utilize both because you're changing your scheme, you're changing your system in your 4-3. You need to find a way to be dominant up front because they've been lacking physicality for the last 10 years.
If there's something that you do well, that's your identity, when push comes to shove, you better dang well be able to do that. For instance, with me, with punting, if it says, hey, here's a ball, go punt, I better be able to punt a ball pretty well, right? For the Green Bay Packers, what they do well is draft and develop. That is their identity. That is what they've built this program on for 30 years, and that is how they build this roster through and through. So if the question is, how can this Packer roster take the next step in becoming elite in areas like Ben is saying, which I totally agree are areas that need to be addressed? Their bread and butter, their MO, their identity always has been, always will be draft and develop. So to me, the most important thing for this Packer offseason is the NFL draft, that Goody needs to replicate the 2022 and 23 draft in the defensive standpoint, because that's what they're good at and that's what they do. Free agency, I have very low expectations for, and for Jordan Love's development, that is critical too. My second answer would be that. But this Green Bay Packers front office needs to draft well. They need to hit on these drafts. That's the only way for them to be able to build a Super Bowl caliber roster.
800-990-3776. Most important aspect of the offseason, is it the draft? Is it free agency? Is it Jordan Love's development? I also want to put another, I'm getting poll happy out here. Do you trust Brian Gutekunst to get it right on the defensive side of the football? Right? When it comes to drafting, do you trust Goody to get it right on that side of the football?
I do. I trust Goody, and again, it's not just going to be drafting, it's going to be through free agency. There is a certain level of trust that Goody has earned from me at this point, and it's based off the fact that, yes, he was able to find Jordan Love, and he stood 10 toes down on the fact that that was his guy, where he was ready to move on from from Aaron Rodgers, despite the fact that our head coach, Matt LaFleur, was not 100% on board with that, but he was going with the flow because he understood it was time to move on. So with that, I'm going to give him the credit and say I'm going to ride with Goody. And then on top of that, when I look at the last two draft classes and to see how they have contributed to this football team, I have a lot of hope for the future. So going into this year in 2024, and I said it before, this is going to be a build through the draft, but also build through the free agency. It's time to make a splash in free agency because right now, again, your window is open. You have the next 3 to 4 years because you're going to sign Jordan Love to a 4-year extension coming up here. They're going to have the next 3 to 4 years to be a team that was so close to going to an NFC championship game, so close to playing a team that you had already beaten in the Detroit Lions in that NFC championship game, and not so close, but then giving yourself an opportunity to take on the Chiefs, who are already beaten during the regular season. How can you help your team take that next step? It is by putting pieces on this team that are already solidified veterans that have experience and know how to ball out on this roster to help push us to the next level. So it has to be a mix between drafting young talent that's going to develop while also developing the talent that you have on your roster, while also signing a couple pieces to solidify this defense. It is all about the defense, and I think Goody understands that, and I cannot wait for free agency because we are going to build through free agency this offseason.
800-990-3776. You can believe whatever you want. They haven't shown that that's something that they like to do. Ken in Oak Creek, I think you're in the same mindset as Kyle. And like I said at the start of this, I want to see who votes free agency because I just don't get my hopes up until something actually happens.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. First and foremost, I couldn't agree with more with what was just said. They're going to get some pieces through free agency. I do some contracts, so there will be a little bit more money there. But also, like was said this before as well, draft and development, they're going to plug and play. They're going to get the pieces to come in, experience-wise on defense, shore that up, and then also, too, would be through the draft. I'll hang up and listen to you guys. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Ken in Oak Creek. And just to echo Ken and Kyle, I will say this again. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Why do we think the Packers are going to spend money in free agency when the biggest splash they made was in 2018? They've had all these years with Aaron Rodgers, and sure, they may not have had the cap room because of the contract they had, etc. But it's just not something that this organization has done. So why do I have to keep hearing, I believe that they will do this? I think that they will do this. Based off what? Based off of what? Based off of what do we think that the Green Bay Packers will spend money in free agency this year?
Here's a fun game to play. The Packers have 5 draft picks in the top 100, right? I believe that's correct. 5 draft picks in the top.
Might be in the top 80 if I'm not even mistaken there.
Okay, so those 5 draft picks, what do you think is going to have more impact on this Packer team, just in general? Those 5 draft picks or the top 5 free agents that they get in free agency?
Ooh, that's a great question, Brad, that you're throwing at me. And I would hope that when you look at it as a whole, if those top 5 rookies that you draft are able to actually come about and do very well this year, then that means you're in a great position. That means you hit it on those 5 guys that you just signed. So it's very tough for free agency just because I don't see the Packers signing 5 top guys, maybe 2 top guys, but I don't see it being 5 top guys. Really, the max is 3. So I would hope it would be better suited for the Green Bay Packers to hit on the first 5 draft picks that they have, as they did last season. Basically, just about is hitting on those first 4 picks that they had last year. If they're able to replicate that this season, then they're going to be in a really good space for next season, but even in the future. But I think it's more important if you hit on those top 2, top 3 free agents, because that means you're getting instant impact guys for this team.
Yeah, and I can buy that. I do think my answer would certainly be the top 5 guys that they draft, right? Those guys are going to have probably the longest duration on the team and the biggest impact. The hard part about free agency is you got to make sure you don't overpay for a guy. You got to make sure this guy's personality fits the team too, right? We can all agree they're creating a very unique and healthy environment in the locker room, right? Not everybody can just walk into that and plug right into it. So to me, I would rather I want Goody to be active in free agency, but I would like him to be semi-measured with it. I'd rather there be more focus on the draft, more focus on those top 5 guys than the top 5 guys that you may get in free agency.
But Ben told you that he doesn't trust Goody, right? He doesn't trust Goody to be able to go and find guys defensively.
On the defensive side of the football, I don't.
Why will we do the same thing over and over? You need
because
to get
that's what the organization does. You've been a fan your whole life.
The organization has dipped in the past before in free agency. You talked about it in 2018. They're not going to do it every single year. That's not what they're built to do. But right now we're in one of those ways, right? It's up and downs. You sign Charles Woodson, then you don't do anything. You sign a Julius Peppers, then you don't do anything. You signed a Ryan Grant, you don't do anything. Not Ryan Grant, Ryan Pickett.
I was going to say, throwing a running back in there for some reason?
You sign Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith and Adrian Amos. Like it ebbs and flows and it comes and goes. And right now could be the wave right now where you sign some guys that can really solidify this defense. They are very close to being a Super Bowl champion.
But to Brad's question here, Ryan from Iguanago, 800-990-3776, who would have a bigger impact, the 5 draft picks within the top 80 to 100, or one of the free agents that is signed by the Green Bay Packers, if they even sign, which I'm sure they will. I mean, they have to. They literally don't have safeties. It depends. Is one of them the Iowa punter, Torrey Taylor?
Hey, let's go. A little punter talk.
Honestly, if they drafted Torrey Taylor, I believe that he'd have more of an impact than anybody that Goody drafts on defense.
Wow.
I'm joking.
I mean, he would have a great impact. Dude is going to be an all-pro.
I mean, the way guys were punting last night, I mean, I'll take some 60-yard bombs to flip the field. And to me,
Goody is banned from drafting special teams.
I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong drafting this guy. I've scouted all I need to scout for him.
Goody is banned from drafting special teams. J.K. Scott, Anders Carlson, the long snapper. Who else am I forgetting?
He drafted J.K. Scott? That was him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was rough.
Do you trust Goody more in free agency than you do drafting? Because I think there's more risk in free agency. There's more money being spent.
No, I don't feel. You feel like there's more risk in free agency?
I do.
Re-signing a 27, 28-year-old?
Because there's more money that you're committing to it. With draft picks, you can kind of roll through them, and if one doesn't work out, no problem. On to the next guy.
One to me says
a free agent better hit.
Free agency tells me when you sign free agents, it tells me that you are going all in to try to win now. Where you focus on drafting is you're trying to build the roster for the future, which is the Green Bay Packers formula. And fellas, unfortunately, that formula, it's worked, but it hasn't been a championship formula for the Green Bay Packers. It's been an extreme success in the sense of winning football games, winning the NFC North, competing when it comes to January, but it has not led to the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. At some point, you have to switch it up. So whether it's this offseason or next offseason, you're going to have to commit yourself to free agents, and I think you start now because typically when you sign free agents, they give you about 3 years. 3 good seasons before they go to the stinker. And the Packers are in that window of the next 3 years where they could be a dominant team if they have the defense to match that great offense that is bubbling for the Packers.
On Twitter at KBN ESPN, I got a little poll slap happy, but I'm okay with it. We have out there, when it comes to the offseason, what is most important for the Green Bay Packers? Hitting on the draft, free agency, or Jordan Love's development. And right now, the draft is 60%. Free agency is 17.6%, so good. I'm glad it's not a higher percentage, because if it was a higher percentage, a lot of people would be let down, in my opinion. And Jordan Love's development, 22.4%. And when it comes to Goody getting it right on the defensive side of the football, do you trust him in the draft? Yes, in Goody we trust 70%. And we didn't get the draft in there, but just leave it up. And 30% say no. But even with that, how could you, even without the fact that the draft is not in the sentence of the poll, what have we been looking at defensively to be like, yeah, I trust Goody?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't shown a lot to be, have a lot of courage. And because even his free agent picks, right, they were okay. They weren't bad.
Rasul's been his best diamond in the rough.
Yeah, and that was an absolute diamond in the rough. I mean, nobody saw that one coming. I bet you even Goody wouldn't expect Rasul to have that.
And he flipped it for a third-round pick, Jason. As in Jason Wilde. He hates when I say that.
Well, I think he was of the belief that they traded the wrong guy, I think.
No, he was in the belief that we gave him a 5th-round pick, so it only makes it a 4th-round pick. I don't know. It's something like that.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Brad thinks the Packers made it as far as they should. Do you agree or disagree? What's most important for this offseason in 2024? 800-990-3776. But before we take a break, I got to tell you about Welke's Milwaukee Florist, because Valentine's Day is around the corner. It usually hits you, right? You got that hangover from the big game. Maybe it's an actual hangover. Maybe it's just like a football hangover. I think I have a mix of both. That being said, Valentine's Day is coming. So make sure you shop with Welke's Milwaukee Florist. Go to Welkes.com, WELKES.com, and do it now, because when you use code ESPN, you're going to get 10% off your order. Welke's has 100% freshness guaranteed, hand-delivered to your home or office. And so when you think about having that fresh, great gift, I've been using them since I moved to Milwaukee. Welkes.com, WELKES.com, code ESPN for 10% off your order. Do it now, folks. We'll be back.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN.
And I'm sure he'll offer this opportunity again.
Absolutely.
What are you going to sell? What are you going to say to Ben Brust?
If you don't get your hand on my goddamn face. No. It's a no. I can say it in different languages. No, no, no.
Niche or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Nine. That's a firm way to say no.
Nine. Next time we say nine.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
New trouble on the roads on 894 southbound at National Avenue. We've got the left lane blocked with a semi-involved accident, and that's got things backed up into the Zoo interchange. We got, of course, the northbound side still dealing with an accident that happened just north of Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. And then we've also got an accident on northbound 4394 at Howard Avenue on the right shoulder. Luckily, that delay has dissipated a bit. Westbound 94, watch out for backups from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Delafield Brewhouse, now on tap, hopped up and hazy. A New England-style IPA with bright grapefruit and citrus aromas. Drink ale, live lager, the Delafield Brewhouse. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Partly cloudy skies, a low of 28. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Flurries are possible with a high of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
He's the most interesting man in sports radio.
Well, should I have a chip on my shoulder that I'm not making as much money as Skip Bayless?
In his mind, anyway. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's getting better and better.
Well, no, you don't have to. You played on it. Maybe it didn't.
I don't think it ever did.
Okay.
I really don't.
The Homer Hour with Homer. Weekdays from 5 to 6. Right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Don't put your life on hold to earn a degree. Lakeland University has a long history of making students' dreams come true. Since 1862, build a schedule that meets your needs with options for 7 and 12-week courses, evening classes, and the ability to join classes remotely. Lakeland University is Wisconsin's leader in evening and online education. They have a main campus in Sheboygan County and 6 centers throughout the whole state. Lakeland University. Affordable, quality, flexible. Find out your next steps at info.lakeland.edu.
I had a really strange experience today.
Strange how?
A man walked into the store who was only about 2.5 feet tall.
What?
And he was carrying a bow and arrows.
Did he sort of have a baby face?
Yes. How did you know?
Sarah, that was Cupid.
Oh.
Did he give us a thumbs up?
Yes, 3 times.
So tell us, what are the Cupid-approved gifts for Valentine's 2024?
He loved our diamond stud earrings starting at $198.
We have 186 different styles and sizes.
And we have more than 1,400 pair in stock.
And Cupid loved our $98 diamond pendant.
It looks like it's worth a lot more.
And every purchase of $298 or more includes a fabulous free travel case to safely transport all of your jewelry.
But mostly, he loved the 4-carat total weight wow diamond engagement ring for less than $4,000.
Welcome to Kessler's for Valentine's Day.
Cupid approved.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. And by everything, we mean top products by your favorite brands. From Blackstone to Blue Buffalo, Carhartt to Cooper, Milwaukee to Muddy, Scott's to Science Diet, DeWalt, Levi's, Purina, Husqvarna, Goodyear, Rapala, Vortex, whew, and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's about damn time. Turn up the music. Let's celebrate. I got a feeling.
800-990-ESPN. Do the Packers get to where they should have this year? I disagree with Brad. It's about 50-50 on the poll. Also, what's most important for this team heading into 2024? Love's development, hitting on the draft, or actually spending money on free agency, which I still don't believe will happen. 800-990-ESPN, streaming on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. Ron in Rome. Ron, what up?
Yeah, hi. Well, we actually ended up doing a lot better than I thought we would. And when we kind of had that, we were leading the game against San Francisco, I thought, it wasn't a big deal when we lost because we had overachieved. But watching the Super Bowl, I think we could have beat both of those teams. So it's kind of a shame that we didn't get into the Super Bowl. But what I would like to see the team get is we haven't had a strong middle linebacker or safeties for so long. At least short tacklers that can, stop the run bleeding. But I would love it if we had a couple of guys that can actually legitimately hit and make people afraid to come over the middle.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Ron. I think that is a portion of it. It's boring, but I still would rather see the front four be beastly because that's where it starts. And it's boring. The game's won in the trenches. But that's where my focus was yesterday when watching that Super Bowl. Watching those 2 defensive lines make Brock Purdy uncomfortable and also make Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable to the point where he had to play a perfect game of taking what was there from a pass standpoint, from a run standpoint, hitting big throws when it was there. They made it Patrick Mahomes have to earn everything. And he still found a way. So, look, I just want to see a physical defense up front. If you're going with the 4-3, they need to be physical. They can't be the same defense that we've seen.
Well, and if you are going to pick one unit of the defense to be dominant, if you had to say D-line, linebackers, secondary, I would cast my vote for D-line as well. D-line can single-handedly make an effect on the game, both running and passing. If you can get pressure with 4 guys and you can consistently make the quarterback uncomfortable, just 4 rushers, think of how easy it is to cover the rest of the field. And this is a passing league, right? Running the ball is important. And having that balance is important. But if you're going to pick one of those two, you're going to say it's a passing league. How do you defeat a passing league and a really good quarterback? Make him incredibly uncomfortable in the pocket. A great defensive line can do that. So to continue to, that's why I didn't hate the draft pick last year of Lucas Van Ness. If you're going to put money and draft picks in the D line, make your D line nasty. I'm all for it.
And that's why Devontae Wyatt not really being like a huge hit yet stinks, because you had 2 first-round picks. Quay is still finding his way, and Wyatt's been...
And this is the exact reason why you have to sign a difference maker. We already know, for the most part, what we have in these guys. Devontae Wyatt is not all of a sudden going to become a stud. He's probably going to be a serviceable guy on the inside. Lucas Van Ness, we are yet to see. We don't think Rashawn Gary all of a sudden is going to be a monster at defensive end. So that is why you need to sign somebody who can be a defensive difference maker for this team. You've tried through the draft and you have not hit it. So now let's invest the money in somebody that can take this defense from being a below average defense to an above average defense and make plays when you need them most.
800-990-ESPN. Justin in the 262, fully with Ben. There's zero hope that Goody will do anything in free agency outside of maybe marginal things like a Jonathan Owens type for depth. It's just not happening. That is my fear, Justin. We'll see how it plays out. Ron in the key on what matters most in the offseason. This will either be an A+ or an F-.
It's love. There's every team that is routinely in the playoffs and does well has a franchise quarterback almost always. It's rare. It's the anomaly when that's not true. So hopefully I was so wrong about him and he continues to improve, because it matters more than everything. If you're going to improve in the draft, it's boring, but it's usually what's boring is right. Always take offensive linemen, always take pass rushers, because of the first point that quarterbacks matter. Protecting them and hitting the other person's quarterback is way more important than any running back, any DB, or any wide receiver. Thanks for the call. Sorry you lost, Ben, yesterday. Wish I would have faded you.
That is all 22. Ron in the key, giving his insights as to how Goody should go about the draft.
All he does is like me in baseball, Goody, when he's trying to draft defensive linemen. He swings and he misses. He swings and he misses. And at a certain point, you can't keep swinging and missing.
Wow, that batting stance.
Oh my God, it was so cringy.
I didn't play baseball.
Yeah, you got a dress shirt on too.
Why'd you check swing?
Well,
Be out.
Well, and that's exactly what Goody is. He should be out on drafting defensive linemen because he continues to miss on them, and this is why you should sign somebody. It's just ludicrous that we think that, just keep doing it and doing it and doing it again and think that all of a sudden he's going to hit it. No, he has shown that he's not going to be able to hit it drafting defensive linemen early on. Go get you somebody that can change the game for you defensively.
Yeah, it just comes at a cost, though. I'm just concerned at who's out there and don't pay $20 million to some.
We'll be okay. The evaluation of have the Packers ever made a terrible big splash in free agency signing? One that you said, we regret spending that money.
Sammy Watkins.
No, Sammy Watkins came at cheap. That's why they had him.
And I don't think so. And I think that is their mentality. I think it's like we are only going to go
Martellus Bennett?
Yeah, they paid him $3 million a year or something like that?
Jimmy Graham.
Those weren't those.
How much were they paying?
$10 million.
No, it was all right though.
Jimmy Graham was always forever a weird signing. So not
very
Packers.
Weird. It was very weird.
But I think that's their approach, right? They want to be very measured, very careful on the front end, so that if they do make a big splash, they're sure that they're sure.
And I trust them to continue to be very measured in that process of trying to find somebody. I just think now is the time for them to actually take those steps to be measured and find somebody. This is when you dip your hand into the cookie jar to try to get them good cookies, because there's a couple good cookies that can make a big difference for this football team.
I'm fascinated by this on Twitter at KBN ESPN. Do you trust Packers GM to get it right on the defensive side of the football? 70% of the people say yes, and where my mind went is exactly where Lance P chimes in. He's invested so much draft capital and money in free agency. I don't know a ton of money, but he has spent money in free that he still can't get it right. Maybe LaFleur gets his DC hire right, and then maybe. Never have we been or never will be a Gutekunst guy myself. So, I mean, he's giving himself away on not being a Goody guy, but I think that his point stands of like, Goody's been the guy the last 5 years, and the defense, I would say, has gotten worse since their best year in 2019.
I'd say so too. And one of the interesting questions that's always asked coordinators when they're being hired, because let's be honest, right? Matt LaFleur knows you can't make wholesale personnel changes very quickly. So the question is, hey, Jeff Hafley, what would you do with our current personnel to make us more successful? How do you see them fitting?
I like this, Brad.
What kind of scheme are you going to use? How are they going to maximize their positives, minimize their negatives? That is a classic question that every head coach asks, whether you're offense, defense, or special teams. How can you use our current players and maximize them? And then they pull film and they do a whole thing on the chalkboard. It's a whole thing. So I will be interested to see how Jeff Hafley looks at this personnel and say, I can use that.
You want to know what the cheat code is? Is Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness both played with their hands in the ground in college. They'll be able to transfer that back and put their hand back into the ground.
That's that Big Ten football.
They'll be okay with that. That's why the biggest thing you need to figure out is that inside linebacker position and also that safety position. I have no qualms or concerns about what this D-line is going to be because they have a lot of bodies and they have some good bodies as well. You need to find some more depth and some more big thumpers at inside linebacker. You need to find somebody at safety, but that's why you got to go sign you somebody, man. I don't trust them to draft nobody, especially in the 20s. No, I need him to sign somebody.
I know you've signed the dotted line for some good, high-quality windows.
Oh,
Kyle.
I sure have. And so this is why I got to tell everybody about those windows, those universal window direct windows. So if you've been cold in your own home, do not suffer through one more winter in a cold and drafty home. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. They have super spacer technology, which helps keep the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window sill longer, and makes the window last up to 5 times longer than other window systems. Plus, Universal backs it all up with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home and 30 years to the next home owner. Call Universal Windows Direct today at 414-410-2000 and they'll upgrade your new windows to triple pane glass for free. That's 3 layers of glass between you and the cold outside. Call 414-410-2000 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus a free upgrade to triple pane glass windows. Tell them I told you to call and get an additional $250 off your next project. And for the last windows you'll ever need, go to universalwindowsdirect.com. That's universalwindowsdirect.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
Thing has ever happened to you from a breakup?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, no.
I don't want to talk about it.
You brought it, so I had to ask.
I ain't gonna put my old shorties on blast, but
why not? They're old shows.
I've had some.
They're old shows.
My parents listen to this show. I don't want my parents to know the craziness that I've dealt with that they son been a part of.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound on 894 at about National Avenue. We got the left lane blocked with an accident involving a semi. That's backing things up through the zoo interchange. Also on northbound 4394 around Howard Avenue, we've got an accident off on the right shoulder being worked on. Westbound 94, heavy from about 25th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to Hawley Road. The eastbound side slowing down at 68th Street all the way to about 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 28. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Flurries are possible with a high of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Do you love winning? This February, head to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and fall head over heels with the Love It or Leave It $400,000 game show. Thursday nights, you could play the Love It or Leave It game show where you can love your prize or leave it for another. Play with your club card to earn drawing entries. Top prize is $10,000 in cash. It's time for Love It or Leave It. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at pacebig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is is our family's business.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
San Francisco 49ers window is closed. It's closed.
All the way closed?
It's closed. Closed. The roster is getting older, more expensive, and there's no guarantee that they're going to be healthy moving forward. I mean, outside of Funga, the safety, they were healthy in that game yesterday. But I mean, even if you look at yesterday's game, all of the injuries they had to contend with. Dre Greenlaw got hurt towards Achilles. We don't know when he'll be back next year. Then you had Deebo Samuel. He got knocked out of the game, came back because of a hamstring. George Kittle got knocked out of the game. He had a shoulder at the end of the fourth quarter into overtime. I can't help but think that this is the last time we're going to see this team contend for a championship. And this is not a slight toward Brock Purdy. This is just the realities of the NFL. I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to get back to this same place next year. And that sucks for some of those mainstays, some of those core guys.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. And there's more. Save 10% when you buy 6 or more select interior pre-hung and slab doors. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The football season may be over. And just like all those players out there who need to recoup from their injuries, it's your time to do that for your achy joints. That's right. If you're dealing with any type of knee pain, hip pain, shoulder, back, whatever it is, and whatever it's from, arthritis or injuries, QC Kinetics is the place you got to go because they're transforming lives with their innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatment. And they're delivering long-lasting results, not just some Band-Aid to get you back going to it. Long-lasting results to help you get your life back. And better yet, there's no steroids, no surgery. Those aren't your only options. That's because QC Kinetics uses their advanced state-of-the-art treatments to harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair your damaged joint tissue. It's already starting to be 2.5 months into 2024. What are you waiting for? 2024 can be the year that you reclaim your independence, where you can walk and play and live. Motion, activity. It's the only way to live. You do not need to live with that shoulder, that back, that knee, that hip pain anymore that's keeping you back. And better yet, again, with no issues of surgery or steroids, but QC Kinetics transformative, innovative, not a drug-free treatments. So if you're tired and finally want to take that solution to where you are living life, active, in motion, call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Kyle Brust and Norman, 94.5 ESPN. Kyle's got his hand raised. What up?
Randomly here, Brett, did you ever do kickoffs?
You know, I did not do kickoffs. Actually, kind of an interesting story. I was technically the backup kickoff guy.
Who else was the backup? I mean, who was the long snapper?
Cool. No, of course I'm the backup kickoff guy. But honestly, I'm not very...
Cool. I got a story here. I was the backup. Who else? Dario Gumbo Allen?
Hey, he can kick the ball well. And I wasn't very good at them. They basically turned into squib kicks most of the time. And there was a Monday Night Football game where I'm playing for the Panthers, and we're at Philadelphia. Monday Night Football. And Graham Gano, my guy, kicker of the show, he's like, man, dude, my back is acting up. And he had some on and off back injuries. And he's like, I legitimately am concerned I can't do kickoffs tonight. He's like, you might want to take some in pregame. I'm like, Graham, do not do that to me. You take whatever it is. You shoot up that back. You shoot up that back. You do whatever you need to do. I'm not doing kickoffs. I am not embarrassing myself on Monday Night Football. Find a way. My man found a way. He kicked off. But I was legitimately starting to take.
If I was Graham Gano, I would have just been hurt for the opening kick.
I was legitimately taking a couple cracks at it in pregame, and it was ugly. I think that even motivated. I think the coaches were like, Graham, find a way.
Kickoff from the 35.
Yeah.
Where would you get it to?
The problem is it's not that beautiful, arcing kickoff.
Who cares? Just kick it through the end zone.
No, I can't get it that far. You know how hard that is?
We need to have a kickoff because I can kick off a little bit too. It sounds like he's pretty trash at kickoffs.
No, it's not as easy as you guys think. You guys are going to hit that quick spinner.
I've kicked
it
off
doesn't
before.
go anywhere. I will hit something with some power. It'll come off the tee hard, but I can't promise it's going to get any
I was just asking you not even to get air, but just
into the end zone.
Just kick, sometimes they just keep it low and just kick it through because it's a way to.
That's harder than you think. That's 75 yards that you have to clear air. That's a long way. I could probably get it to the 10, but it's going to have no hang time. They're going to come right back at it. That's why I'm just I'm going to hit this thing as hard as I can.
Right by you.
Graham Gano almost ruined his pregame. I know Brad was sitting.
Oh my God, sweating!
This isn't part of my routine. What are you doing?
Hey, he probably went to the locker room. Lexi, I don't know what I'm going to do. Graham talking about.
I was frantic though, dude. I was frantic. And honestly, admittedly, I probably didn't take the practice reps I should have throughout the week. And so my groin started to act up. I'm hitting all these different muscles because different swing planes, right, with kicking and punting. So I am just dude, I was thrown all through a tizzy that night. That was brutal.
Why didn't you just toe jam it?
That would be even more embarrassing.
It's about the result. It's not about how you get there. It's about getting the result you need.
No.
Also, toe jamming's I don't think it makes the ball go as far.
No, and soccer shoes aren't great for toe jamming either, right? There's not a lot to them. If you just had a big old flat shoe, that might be good. But that would be embarrassing. Could you imagine the announcers? I mean, look at this idiot. He's going back there with a straight on approach.
I'd be fine. I'd laugh on my drive home with my paycheck.
For real though, the better solution, the better solution would have been have Luke Kuechly kick it off, and at least you got another guy to go.
Why would you risk the middle linebacker?
No, but at least he can go in there, and he's another coverage guy. I'm going to give you a bad kickoff.
Wait a minute, Brad the punter thinks he's more valuable than Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly takes one swing at the ball, and he hurts his groin. Brad's like, Forget
Can you imagine they come to me and say, Brad, you might need to kick off?
I think Luke should.
And say, hey, Luke, can you kick off tonight?
I just want y'all to understand this. Brad went from an all-conference linebacker in high school on a state runner-up football team to being afraid to go down, run field, and make a tackle.
It's not afraid. It's about
trust himself.
It's about effectiveness. I just know you're better off putting anybody else in there.
Brad would have been on skates,
wide stance, break down. The quick feet as you break down.
Yeah, just to do it, and then all of a sudden you would have went by, you just turned and run.
So anyway, what prompted this kickoff question?
Well, I was watching the Super Bowl here that we have on our great TV. Shout out to Smart Spaces, and I saw a kickoff, and I said, I wonder, Brad's never talked about kickoffs. We always talk about punting, but we never talk about kickoffs.
When we say the word specialist, he's only good at punting.
Specifically one thing.
And there's the other time, too, where you always work on the onside kick, because the question is if you get hurt, I practice onside kick, too. So they try to teach me onside kicking, man. I couldn't do it.
Brad said I was only going to the punting camps. That's it. Nothing else.
But when now, though, a popular onside kick is where you kind of do just toe jam it and you just try to hit it quick on the ground and hope it skips up. I could do that one. But the nice, pretty, where you kick it into the ground and a high hop, nah, man. I got no skills with lateral kicking.
Man,
I'm all forward kicking.
Do you have any other skills outside punting?
I don't have many. I am very confident. When it comes to being an expert at something, it's kind of punting.
What about holding?
Oh, good call, Chris. I am a really good holder too. I actually am a really good holder. I have no problem saying that.
Well, I mean, that's good. That's good.
I have no problem saying I held for kickers in the NFL, and I'm really good at it.
The problem is, I was good at it, and it's just the short career, man. You peaked, and the one
holding
thing
is a thankless job.
It's super thankless.
I mean, it was a high snap yesterday. They had to grab
got
it,
it down.
Yeah,
and they made the kick. That was on a 50-some yarder.
Could you get a high one or?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever drop one before?
Not holding, no.
Powerful.
And snappers would like me because like I have a very wide open chest to them, right? Like, a lot of holders are like really closed off, really small target. I give them a big old target.
Yeah, you do.
I don't
big old target.
Hey, right here, baby.
Okay, Draco.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good holder. I won't mind saying it.
All right. I'm going to tell you about Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we'll get to Brian Bulaga because I love talking to Brian, and he's hot. Brian Bulaga is hot. Hey, yo, Brian is handsome.
Something going on with this man. He's talking about you, and I don't know what he was talking about with you with big targets, and then all of a sudden he called Brian.
You can kind of cute today too.
So thank you now.
See, now he'll take the compliment.
I like go more.
Kyle loves being complimented.
Brian Bulaga's hot on Twitter, going at people right now, and so I want to bring some of that stuff on the air. But I want to talk to you about Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Ben, same game parlay. Let's go. Not. First one, 0-3. Didn't hit a single leg of the parlay. But that's okay because all things regress to the mean, except when it's me and sports betting. But no, I have faith that we, as the Brain Trust, will figure out Ben's same game parlay. Actually, one of our teammates, believe this or not, after our show, she wanted to learn how to do a couple parlays. Guess what she did?
What did she do?
She did Mahomes over 29.5 rush yards.
Ooh. That's a good one.
Parlayed with Jawan Jennings anytime touchdown.
Ooh. No.
10 to win 150.
Oh.
160 in return.
That's really good.
Damn.
Lunch on
That's
her.
impressive.
No, lunch on you once Brad hits his gear thing. But
which
yeah,
is tomorrow.
Shout out to Mags. I mean, she was... first time doing hitting Jawan Jennings with... Wait, first off, Jawan Jennings threw a touchdown, and it didn't count for her bet. And then he had another... No one had Jawan Jennings throwing and catching.
No one.
Anywhere.
Second person to do it in NFL history.
Powerful. Go to Potawatomi's 3,000 slot machines, 12 bars and restaurants, 40 table games. They have it all. Bingo, full-service sports betting. You just heard me talk about it. Build up your bets at Potawatomi. Like, you can go build up your bet. Get a QR code, so when you go, you can scan the QR code, put the money in, light up your senses, paysbig.com. Brian Bulaga joins us next. Jawan Jennings.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
And make sure everyone's tuning in when we do this, because y'all's faces are going to be like,
it better be sweet.
If you think I'm going to act like that for oatmeal, you're outside your damn
You've never
mind.
had Brad Nortman's oatmeal.
It's not Quaker, is it?
Chocolate chip pancakes with butter
organic.
and syrup that make me go, oh, baby, oatmeal ain't going to do that.
You'll be surprised. I'm going to do a variety.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Football Guy.
Good morning, Tausch. How are you?
Football Guy.
Old T's a little, I'm not feeling 100%. Tell me,
coming at it from different views.
No, just I think with all that little stuff that's going around and the long trip back from the loo, I'm going to grind.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
I had a really strange experience today.
Strange how?
A man walked into the store who was only about 2.5 feet tall.
What?
And he was carrying a bow and arrows.
Did he sort of have a baby face?
Yes. How did you know?
Sarah, that was Cupid.
Oh.
Did he give us a thumbs up?
Yes, 3 times.
So tell us, what are the Cupid-approved gifts for Valentine's 2024?
He loved our diamond stud earrings starting at $198.
We have 186 different styles and sizes.
And we have more than 1,400 pair in stock.
And Cupid loved our $98 diamond pendant.
It looks like it's worth a lot more.
And every purchase of $298 or more includes a fabulous free travel case to safely transport all of your jewelry.
But mostly, he loved the 4-carat total weight wow diamond engagement ring for less than $4,000.
Welcome to Kessler's for Valentine's Day.
Cupid approved.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer. Get started on your fitness journey by going to PrincetonClubNewBerlin.com. That's PrincetonClubNewBerlin.com.
Disney on Ice invites you to join the daring adventures of your favorite Disney friends. Explore the world of Frozen. Be part of Encanto with Mirabel, Bruno, and the Familia Madrigal. Be inspired by Moana's courage to make her dreams come true. At Disney on Ice presents Find Your Hero. Playing the Fiserv Forum this week. Great seats still available. For tickets and show details, visit DisneyOnIce.com.
Hey, remember when we were having conversations without words like inflation, recession? Yeah, I miss those days too. So at Quick Trip, we're feeling a bit nostalgic. So we've lowered the prices on all our take-home meals. Every day, not on second Tuesdays or every Good Friday. Every day, make your next meal a trip down savings lane with chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, just $4.99. Or spaghetti and meatballs, $5.99. Quick Trip. We got mealtime savings nostalgia covered.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by UW Credit Union. For over 90 years, UW Credit Union has helped Wisconsinites achieve their financial goals at every stage of life, offering great rates for greater possibilities. Join today at uwcu.org. Wisconsin head football coach Luke Fickell was on Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin last week and touched on the current state of college athletics with the evolution of name and likeness in the transfer portal.
I don't ever say the game is changing. I say it's evolving, right? Because really when it comes down to it, the ball goes down. Those five guys or three guys that they're across from, that doesn't change, right? And that's where the game is still the beauty of what it is.
Find the full conversation with Luke Fickell on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcast. Just search Wilde and Tausch.
Get 0% interest for up to 3 years, or get no money down, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
There is no place I'd rather be than in a bathtub remodeled by the Bath Authority. So if your bath or your shower is old, outdated, and has mold and mildew or broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Their modern, durable tubs, showers are designed with an exclusive high-tech polymer liner. What that means is it will be low maintenance, resistant to mold and mildew, and easy to clean and last for decades. Plus, it comes with a lifetime warranty. Walk-in tubs, replacement showers, tub-to-shower conversions, and more. All Bath Authority products are 100% made in the U.S. of A. and can be installed in as little as 1 day by a certified factory technician. Call today and get $1,000 off your new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. You're their priority at the Bath Authority, so elevate your bathroom to a new level of luxury, style, and safety, and schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,000 off your new shower or bath. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, joined now by Brian Bulaga. Oh, it's Brian. I was like, what the hell is that noise?
Brian taking a bath right now.
Brian Bulaga, former Packers tackle, joins us now on Kyle Bruston Nortman. What up, Brian?
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Doing good. Doing better than you on Twitter right now, getting into it with a troll, man. You good?
Doing better than me on Twitter? No, I mean it's I'm done having the discussion with him. I don't know what he was so upset about, but
no, I'm with you. Like, I mean, you were tweeting about the Travis Kelce bumping into Andy Reid, and I think we were all in agreement of this show. It was, I mean, like, no getting around it. It's a bad look.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm totally against it, and I guess the guy that claims he's a Packers fan said, if I I should have done that to Mike McCarthy more, and we would have won more Super Bowls.
That'll do it.
He's right.
Yeah,
He's right.
Brian, I'm not going to lie. I disagree, but when he sent in them dang run calls against Seattle, if you would have bumped him a little bit, maybe he would have okay, no, pass, give it to Aaron.
Yeah, it's just, it's a certain way of handling business, and that wasn't a way that I see is good for me to handle a situation. And obviously, it's fine with Andy Reid, or Andy Reid claims it was fine at the time. I don't know.
If they lose, don't you feel like it's different?
Yep.
Oh, of course, absolutely. But I guess each guy has their own thing. But I watched that. I would never go up to a coach or to even anybody on the sideline and literally get in their face that way, almost shoving them over. It's just not something that I would ever do. I think you can have a conversation without almost knocking over the head coach or getting literally in his face and screaming at him. But to each their own. They won the game. Everything's happy, hunky-dory. Everyone feels good about it, and it's a non-issue. But I look at it a little different, I guess.
And Brian, I want to get your perspective from being a former offensive lineman, right? I thought the defensive fronts were awesome last night. I thought the Chiefs made Purdy uncomfortable and have to be fast, especially on third. Obviously, Spags brings pressure at times as well. From a Niner standpoint, Hargrave, Bosa, and Armstead were awesome. Young made one play, but that's been a story. My point there is with the Packers switching to a 4-3. How important is it for them to have a physical front for one time in the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's going to be very important. When you're switching to this scheme, your front four need to be able to make hay and dominate the game. They need to be able to get home with only four and really, take a lot of pressure off of the secondary. That's what these fronts have been so good for notoriously. You look back at the 49ers, obviously, who we're talking about, but Seattle did it really well for a long time. The Jets do it right now really well. So it's going to be a big task for the Green Bay pass rushers, which is why I could see them potentially maybe adding someone, maybe drafting someone, especially with this change, and who also I think has the biggest responsibility, not just the front four in this defense, because I think that's the centerpiece, but the linebackers, right? The linebackers of this defense, this style of defense, have to be, we'll just put it, pretty dang good. Mm-hmm. They got to be pretty dang good. And it makes me believe that Green Bay is going to make a move for somebody or do something to add to that position group, because you look at the teams right now that run this defense at a really high level. Obviously, San Francisco's guys, Warner and Greenlaw, who got hurt last night, which was unfortunate, but those two dudes are studs, right? Absolute studs. And you look at the Jets, Quincy Williams, stud, right? Absolute stud. And it's kind of one of those things that this defense requires you to have a great front four and two linebackers that can just fly around the field, sideline to sideline, that are smart, can run this defense, get guys lined up, and obviously be really good in coverage, because there's a lot of times that these linebackers are covering backs and tight ends, and they got to be able to hold up. So I think that's something that Goody knows, especially with this change. He could say all he wants that it's a nickel league. That's great. That you still need the two linebackers to run this scheme that can cover. So I'm not sure Green Bay has that right now on the roster. You know what I mean? I'm not sure that's a position that they have that. I get the young fella from Georgia. He's a nice player and all, but is he the guy you want covering, say, a Kittle or a Kelsey or, Laporta? Not sure, but we'll see what Goody does to address that.
Brian, I don't know what it is about the end of the NFL season. It gets me a little bit reflective. And, I'm just thinking about watching the two teams last night and thinking about where the Packers end up. My opinion is the Packers went exactly as far as they should have gone, right? Divisional round. Given the way the team was put together, they were flawed on defense and on special teams, that those were the things that ended up biting you in the butt after all. So going to the divisional round, that's exactly as far as they should have gone. What do you think? Do you think that was exactly right, or they overachieved or underachieved?
No, listen, beginning of the season, you tell me they were going to go that far, I would say, man, they overachieved. That's fantastic, right? And then as the season goes on and, they struggled for a bit and then they started to play the way they did towards the end of the season, obviously disappointed they didn't win, but I think they ended right where they needed to be. And if they're able to, strengthen in some areas, really shore up special teams, get some competition for the kicker, adjust to this new defensive scheme, I think they'll deserve and be ready to go farther than what they did this year.
Super Bowl.
How hard is it for a team with the, being the hunting to the hunted in the NFL? Have you been in a scenario like that where it affected you?
It never affected me, but you're going to get every team's best shot, no matter what. Could be the worst team in the league. You're gonna get their best shot, and it's gonna be a ball game. So Green Bay needs to be ready for that. That everywhere they go, everyone that comes in a Lambeau, it's gonna be a ball game.
Let's do it, baby. Brian Bulaga will join Homer coming up next from 5 to 6. The Doctor and Homer. Don't go anywhere. They'll be back in 2 minutes. It's been Kyle Bruston-Dortmund.
Southbound on 894, we do still have this problem at National Avenue. Left lane is blocked with an accident involving a semi. That's stretching all the way back to Mayfair Road, those delays. So watch out for that. Eastbound 94 slowing from 76th Street all the way through the stadium. The westbound side's heavy from just before 27th Street to Hawley.